called off next week's strike action in England while it enters what it calls intensive talks with the government on pay, terms and conditions. The union's members had planned a 48-hour walkout starting on the 1st of March. Our health reporter Michelle Roberts has more.
A joint statement from the Department of Health and Social Care and the Royal College of Nursing says both sides are committed to finding a fair and reasonable settlement, one that recognises the vital role nurses play in the NHS, as well as the wider economic pressures facing the UK and the Prime Minister's priority to halve inflation. The Health Secretary will meet the Royal College of Nursing tomorrow to begin talks.
Elsewhere, proposals to increase council tax, raise car parking charges and cut dozens of jobs at Newcastle City Council will be debated next week. The local authority anticipates it needs to make £67 million worth of savings in the next 3 years. Labour councillor Paul Frew is from Newcastle City Council.
We have very significant cost pressures. We have very high adult social care and children's social care needs currently, and they have been growing over many years. We're obviously suffering the same kind of inflation that people are seeing in their daily budgets. We're seeing more than £1 million increase in our utility bills, and we just have to deal with that.
Two of the UK's biggest supermarket chains are introducing limits on how much fruit and veg we can buy. Morrison's is restricting people to 2 of each items like tomatoes, cucumbers and lettuce, while Asda's bringing in a cap of 3. They're blaming poor weather in key growing regions, which has led to supply problems. President Biden's made a speech in Poland hours after Vladimir Putin blamed the West for Russia's invasion of Ukraine. The Russian leader's comments have been heavily criticised by Ukraine's allies, including the US.
President Putin is confronted with something today that he didn't think was possible a year ago. The democracies of the world have grown stronger, not weaker. But the autocrats of the world have grown weaker, not stronger. Because in the moments of great upheaval and uncertainty, that knowing what you stand for is most important. And knowing who stands with you makes all the difference.
And teachers and pupils at Sean Longstaff's old school say he's already a hero to them, no matter how the club does at Wembley this weekend. The midfielder scored both goals against Southampton last month to send the Magpies to their first final since 1999. Adam Pilkington was his PE teacher at John Spence in North Shields.
He was an all-rounder, to be honest. I was dead jealous, probably, as a PE teacher. Cricket, he played at the county level, badminton. You know, anything he would turn his hand at, he was just fantastic. I've known him since he was a kid. Even at primary school, I used to go into work with them, so I've kind of followed his journey. He was always special at football.
In Newcastle, usual congestion on Jesmond Road heading inbound before the A167. In Durham, usual congestion again on the A167. That's Newcastle Road heading south around Neville's Cross Bank. And Gosford busy on the approaches at Benton Park Road, where the double roundabouts are. BBC Radio Newcastle News, I'm Martin Lindsay. For an update anytime, just ask your smart speaker to play BBC News for the North East.
Thank you very much indeed, Martin. We're going to hear from Sean Longstaff very shortly, actually, but it was you that went to his old school to do some interviews there and to speak to teachers and current pupils at the school. I bet they're all buzzing, are they?
Oh, it was absolutely bouncing. So we went along to John Spence in North Shields, and we got to speak to a few of the lads who play in their football academy, some of them who are going to Wembley as well, and 2 of his PE teachers too, who, I mean, they couldn't sing his praises any higher, to be honest. He sounds like a cracking lad, and goes back quite a lot as well. They were saying he's frequently there doing awards dues for them and stuff, or sports days he'll be there doing stuff. He's probably there once a week, they reckon.
Which is, he just seems to be that kind of lad that, will always have that connection to his roots.
Oh, they absolutely love him. And they said the day after the second leg against Southampton, the place was absolutely buzzing, obviously, because he scored twice. So, they're buzzing for him this weekend. They can't wait.
Thank you, Martin. Imagine if he gets the winner in the final.
Total Sport.
When we won that war, I tell you what, I think a lot of fans didn't know how to react. Well, the CHF gave it 2 horse. It's been a season of 2 horse for us. Been a phenomenal turnaround. Eddie Howe's done a phenomenal job. What a weekend, Marble!
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Tonight, though, it is Championship football, which is the focus of our attention. We are building up to our commentary. Rotherham against Sunderland, and Barnsley can remind us of the team news.
3 changes. O'Nien and Sirkin come in for Hume and Elise. Pritchard comes in for Roberts. So Patterson in goal. A back 4 of O'Nien, Ballard, Bart and Sirkin. Neil, Mishu, Ahmad, Pritchard, Clark and Gelhardt. And the bench is Bass, Hume, Barr, Ekwa. I could go on and try and rhyme all the others, but I can't. Elise, Roberts and Bennett.
Thank you. You can write a poem for us when you give us the team again later on. Thank you very much indeed, Barnsley at the New York Stadium. Barnsley and Benno will be building up to a 7:45 kick-off very shortly. Meanwhile, the build-up to that League Cup final continues. This is how Newcastle fan Richard, who's been on tonight, told us how he sees it going.
Well, I think we'll win. I think that our strength is on the right side of attack. Their weakness is on the left side of defence for sure. I think that's where our strength will come from.
Are you as confident as Richard? Get in touch with us tonight. You'll hear a bit more from Sean Longstaff in a few moments as well. And plenty more of your messages as well.
Total Sport. BBC Radio Newcastle.
You still have time to come on air and have a chat as well. 0800 234 6565 is the free phone number to dial. Billy in Wallsend has corrected me, started his message. Simon, you are wrong. Plenty of messages begin like that. And when they do begin like that, I usually am. He says, the Spurs game could be moved, you're right, but it's nothing to do with Europe, it's if they progress in the FA Cup. He says Europe isn't played on weekends. I know that, Billy. I just thought that if they were in Europe the following Tuesday, that's why it might be moved. But you're quite right, it's an FA Cup weekend rather than a European week, so therefore it could still be moved. Thank you for clarifying. Thank you for keeping me right. If I didn't have people keeping me right in this programme, where would I be? Don't answer that.
Yeah, answers on a postcard, please.
Yes.
Answers on a stamp.
Aid is in Tynemouth. Evening, Aid. He says, hi, lads. John, I must admit, with Nick Pope and our recent form, I'm a bit apprehensive about Sunday. Having said that, Bruno's back, so hopefully he will be able to control midfield a bit more than we've been able to in the last few games. And fingers crossed, Rashford might pull his hamstrings. We don't want to wish that. Maybe just a tiny tweak of it, maybe, against Barcelona, says Aid. He thinks that would help. And I know, again, that was something that Eddie Howe talked quite a lot about today. And
Rashford pulling his hamstring.
Well, just Rashford's ability, basically. Dan
Look at the boys
talked about him as well. Might come up against
He's on fire. He's on what's he? 17 goals in 17 games.
Because people were talking ahead of the World Cup
when you look at the game and
how he perhaps shouldn't have been in the squad because his form had maybe dipped a little bit over the course of a year or so. But he had a good World Cup, didn't he? And
well, he had a good sort of the few games before the World Cup. He was starting to get to where people know he should be. I think I know all the goalkeeper stuff is tough, and but in the context of the game, I think Rashford is a bigger problem than not having Nick Pope in goal. I think he is.
I think you stop Rashford, you stop them.
It's going to be, he's going to.
I think the contest between Bruno and Casemiro is going to be.
It's going to be fascinating as well. One to relish. Gaz says, I'm fed up hearing about Karius in the Champions League final. Everyone chooses to ignore he was the keeper who got them to the final, and he was brilliant on the way there. The poor bloke was concussed in the final, so let's get behind him. It says Gaz. Loris Karius.
Yeah, but we're not talking about that. We're not saying that. What we're saying is he hasn't played a competitive game for over 2 years. That's more of a concern than his ability.
Vic says, did you know Newcastle, with 8 defeats in a row at Wembley, now have the longest ever losing run by a team there? Thanks for that, Vic.
Thanks for that.
He says it's time to break some records, though. 2-0 to the Toon. You see, he's turned his WhatsApp message around with a positive conclusion to it.
Good.
Okay. Brian says, supporting the Toon since the 60s, and every final I have an increasing sense of deja vu. A dip in form, our keeper banned, whilst Manchester United are full of expensive stars in top form. We need every one of our players on top form to have a chance. But I've got a fear of history repeating itself. Brian's worried.
Look... You would like a bit of momentum going into a cup final, of course you would. We haven't got that at the moment. Well, not in our league form anyway. We've played quite well at the weekend but lost. We're not scoring enough goals in the league. They've dried up a little bit. But on a one-off day, you never know what could happen. We will obviously continue the build-up to Sunday through the week here on BBC Radio Newcastle. You'll hear from the United camp through the week. Tonight, you're going to hear a bit more from Sean Longstaff, who was, of course, Newcastle's hero in the semi-final against Southampton, when he scored twice to help send the Magpies to Wembley. Well, I have been chatting to him ahead of the game against Manchester United, and I reminded him, you remember this, Sando, of the time that he and his brother and their dad
joined us in the studio. That was a few years ago. And I put it to him that a lot's happened since then.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster on it for me and Matty, really. And like I said, obviously he's just had a big injury the other week, and you never want to see that, and obviously gutted for him. And hopefully he gets back fully fit as soon as possible, and he'll eventually end up where he's going to end up. And obviously trying to support him as much as possible with whatever he needs.
And I'm sure he will be thrilled for you. He might be a bit jealous, but he'll also be thrilled for you.
Yeah, maybe. I don't think he'll be that jealous, but I think he will be thrilled for us. We're really close, and obviously towards the end of last year I got to go and watch him play at Wembley, and was able to be a fan for the day, and take in all the sort of the crowds and the sights, and just always thought, wow, imagine if Newcastle ever got here, what it would be like. We said that on the day, and probably never thinking that whatever it is 8 months later that we're going to be in that position. And yeah, like I said, just sort of really looking forward to the game, and obviously he'll go down as a fan. Got a lot of family going down, a lot of friends going down, so hopefully we'll make it as enjoyable as we can for them.
It did strike me when you were in the studio that your dad, no matter what would happen, would probably keep you grounded. But even he must be absolutely thrilled by what's happening now.
Yeah, I think he is, and like you said, because it was such a roller coaster, I think they seen us obviously sometimes not the happiest all the time, and it was tough at times, to be honest. And I think they're just probably really proud to see us come out the other side of that now. And I think that's what makes it even more special is when you're doing well and successful, everyone will speak to you, everyone will sort of be your friend. But when it's not going as well, you'll see some people, and your family are always there for you, and I'll be forever grateful to them. And just trying to sort of pay them back now for everything they've given me.
Bearing in mind those challenging times then, I guess that makes an occasion like this even more special. I guess, in other circumstances you might even have ended up away from the club, but now here you are, still here, playing for the team week in, week out, and looking forward to Wembley.
Yeah, and that's what I said before, I think everything happens for a reason. I think if you asked us a year and a half ago and I wasn't playing and wasn't involved, and it wasn't the best place to be, to be honest, this is what's going to happen, I probably wouldn't have believed you, but just try to work as hard as possible every day, and like I said, make the most of every opportunity I've got, and obviously got a bit lucky, in pre-season with John Joe getting injured and pushes up the pecking order a little bit, and like I said, because of the players I've brought in, I always knew once I got in the team I was confident in my ability to stay in, and I've been lucky to do that so far, and hopefully the manager's confidence in me is growing and growing every week.
My phone buzzes every day with people asking me, because I work for the BBC, can I get them tickets? Goodness knows what yours must be like.
Yeah, to be honest, I try to put it off for as long as possible. Try to see which of my pals who had season tickets could get tickets through the ballot and stuff. And last night was a nice night. I got to ring some of my closest friends and tell them I've got tickets for Wembley, so you can stop texting us, you can stop hounding us now. And a lot of them are really happy, and like I said, to be able to share these experiences with the people who are closest to me, who were there when we weren't going to Wembley and we weren't winning every week and it wasn't really enjoyable. Just so happy to be able to share it with them, and really, really special.
Anyone listening to this then that hasn't got the call yet, is that unlucky then?
Yeah, pretty much, I think so. Unless something comes up with any spares flying about, but I think I've tried to do it as fairly as possible, and obviously want your whole family there, and then I want the people who I think are closest to me, and like I said, it's such a special occasion, and hopefully in years to come we'll get there a lot more, but it's not a given, and in other sports you look at some of the best teams who you think are going to get there every year, and then they don't really end up doing it, and it's hopefully not going to be once in a lifetime, but it could be, and that's how you've got to look at it, and massive game.
Good to speak to Sean Longstaff earlier today. I think he did enjoy the interview, at least to some extent, Ando. I know you said that players aren't necessarily keen on doing them ahead of a big game.
Put on a good act, didn't he?
He did, didn't he? And it must be tough when you've got so many people that want tickets and you've got to try and divvy them out.
Tough
I
on
felt
him
from a bit there when he was talking about that.
Tough on him, yeah. I mean, It must be a nightmare. Never been in that situation, so I wouldn't know. But
I mean, you're getting asked for tickets now because people think you can get them, aren't you?
Oh God! When we first got there, dear oh dear, it was scary, and I just said, well, I can't get you tickets.
And when you
can't get tickets myself.
I mean, there were big games, there were sellout games that you played in, and people, I'm sure, tried to get tickets from you. You can't please everybody.
No, you can't. But it must be worse for a cup final.
It's a nightmare. Yeah.
Well, I told you the story about the guy that got in touch with us, didn't I?
Tell us again. I need stories told to me at least twice.
Well, I played under 12 football with him. And he sent... Have you not heard this, Marco?
No, you're not telling me. You must have done it on a Friday when I wasn't on.
This is brilliant. I played under 12 football with this guy, and he emailed the club, and the club forwarded on the email to me. And he went, hello, John. He said...
Hello, David McMahon, sitting here with me cans of Skull. What do you reckon the score will be, DJ? I'm going for 3-1, lads. Yeah, I'm going to go for 3-0 or 3-1 or something like that.
I don't suppose there's any.
I just want us to put in a really good, solid performance and just put them to the sword, kill them off. Not this edgy 1-0, 2-1 or whatever. Because the last two games, I think Sunderland.
I mean, look, I played.
It's been a little bit under par. I'd like to see them go for the kill. Certainly not 5-1 from when we last played there.
Yeah, and it is the hardest part of it. Honestly, I mean, I think it's much better organised now because the clubs have these like liaison officers, or they have players, people in player welfare and things like that who take a lot of the pressure away. Whereas in those days, it literally was you were trying, and look, we got paid a lot less than I was. If you were ordering 20 tickets. And people wouldn't pay you for them either.
They thought you got them for nothing.
You were chasing money afterwards, for get tickets for people. It was it got to the stage where after a few years, I just stopped doing it because it was like the morning of the game, people were ringing you, asking you where the tickets would be and what this would be, and I said, no, "Look, I've got a game today." It is that one of the hardest things about these big games, but I'm sure they'll all be sorted by now.
Let's bring in George, who's waiting online to speak to us. George is a Newcastle supporter. Welcome to BBC Radio Newcastle, George.
Hiya, lads.
Hey, George.
Let's get out of the way, George. Have you got a ticket?
No, I haven't.
Oh.
Andrew, have you got one for George? Or?
No, don't even ask.
Right. What I want to do is talk about the game on Saturday.
Right.
First off, as for Pope, what the hell he was doing outside his goal area, I do not know. So
sweeper keeper.
So yeah, but you stay within your box area because there's chances that people can get past you.
What?
And
he did it to good effect earlier in the game, didn't he?
He did it quite a few times this season, to be fair. Yeah. But go on, George.
It's just that I think goalkeepers they need to stay within the box area, because if there's a chance that we can have goals scored against us when the goalkeeper, all they've got to do is a forward's just got to chip the ball and that's it. How can the keeper catch it? So he shouldn't have been out of this area.
Right.
If he hadn't been out of this area, there wouldn't have been a red card and would have been all fair and square. So that was my first point.
Right.
Second point, the strikers, the forwards we've got, are not up for the job. I mean, Isaac's okay, he's a good player, but he's not doing the job he should be doing, because if he was doing the job he was doing, he'd be banging the goals in. And I can't see him anytime soon banging the goals in yet. It's going to be quite a while before we get him scoring goals. I mean, as for Callum Wilson, I don't know if he's playing, but I'm hoping he takes his place, because I think he does a far more effective job than Isaac's,
Different sort of player, Ando, but you'd probably, if you were going to fancy one of them to score in the big one on Sunday, it would probably be Wilson that you would bank on, even though he's missed a few recently.
Yeah, I think Wilson will play.
Yeah.
I think Wilson will get the nod. Look, to be fair to Isaac, I don't think, and I've said this on here, I don't think he can play up there on his own. I don't think he enjoys playing with his back to goal. He likes to see things in front of him. So he needs to play, when he plays up there, he needs somebody alongside him. And look, I think the Nick Pope the sending off, because we play such a high line and we press high. I think he's got to do that. He's got to be aware of stuff over the top. He's done it quite a few times this season where he's come and cleaned things up. As Simon said earlier, he did one earlier on, got it right. And to be fair to him, on this
don't have a stream
pass,
pass, but it'll be audio commentary right throughout the game.
He didn't got it all wrong.
And you're not allowed to show the old streams on YouTube, which will get booted off.
Give us a prediction, George, for how it's going to go on Sunday.
It's a decent show, let down by the Mags phoning in.
If I was wanting Newcastle win, it'd be 2-1.
Aye. They'll be crying though, won't they, when they'll be phoning in when they get hammered by Man U.
Hard game. And I don't think we've got the scoring potential at the moment. All we've got is the scoring potential, and that's it. So I'm going to say 2-1 to Newcastle if we win.
Okay, thank you very much indeed. A tentative 2-1 from George there. Thank you, George.
Penalties.
Well, 2-1 on penalties.
Yeah.
And Ando, we're going to let you go in a moment. Gaz has been on though. Gaz, since we're on corrections, Ando, are you suggesting that the highly prestigious, because we're talking about Loris Karius not playing games, are you suggesting the highly prestigious Diriyah Season Cup, in which Newcastle beat Al Hilal 5-0, wasn't a serious competitive cup? He says, tongue firmly in cheek.
Well, he answers his own question, then, didn't he?
I think he kind of does.
Look, to be fair, I watched that game, and he made a couple of decent saves. He did all right, but do I think it was a high-pressure game? No.
No,
it wasn't. Definitely wasn't.
Andrew, you get an early finish.
Cheers, boys.
This evening, you're going to be busy for the rest of the week, so
look forward to it.
Most of it tonight. We will hand across to Benham and Barnsley to take us up to a 7:45 kickoff at the New York Stadium, Rotherham against Sunderland very shortly, but not before we've had a chat to Arthur, who's a Sunderland fan who gave us a call this evening with his thoughts ahead of the match. Good evening, Arthur. Welcome to the show.
Good evening, lads. Good evening, John. Good evening, Mark.
You all right?
Hello, Arthur.
Well, John's gone. John's gone.
Not bad, thank you.
I'll let him go. I've dismissed him for the evening.
Anyway, Marco, excuse me. I think tonight, I says, just play your normal game again.
Yeah, pretty good, mate, for a Tuesday night. Just plodding on, mate, yourself.
Have somebody up and support them. It's no good them being up there by yourself. You've got
absolutely.
The midfielders up to support them to take a little bit weight off his shoulders. Because they're just too much to do.
I agree with you in some respects. In that,
but I have mustard on mine.
Goals, you've got to get people bodies around you and get up the. But also,
yeah, lovely.
Part of the job of being a forward is sometimes you have to shoulder that responsibility to, make a clearance into a through ball, or make a clearance into stopping a defender heading it back 30 yards by backing in and at least making it difficult for them. These all the little nuances that you sometimes don't really focus on in a match, the dirty work, and so I think that's I think around the box, around the 18-yard box, or around the final third, I think there's we do get players forward. I think there are we play in little groups, little triangles, and little patterns of play that he can get involved with. I think he could get more involved with that, and he will do as he gets to know the players more.
I've had pancakes and mustard for tea.
I think
they're going to get thumped. They are going to get humped.
He's got to grasp the nettle as well a little bit, Arthur.
Yeah,
no, that's tomorrow, mate.
I think there's times when the balls went flashing across the penalty area from the wings, and there's only been him there. Surely there should be another one or two there to try and give him a big hand. That's all I'm trying to say, Marco.
Yeah, well, I don't know how many times that's happened since he's played. I wouldn't say that's something that we are massively adept at, and obviously, Ross Stewart has scored quite a few goals. We have scored goals from crosses. We have scored goals from crosses this year. But usually, a lot of the time it has been when we have had to break down a lot of big defences. Teams with 9 men across the edge of the 18-yard back and box and in front of that, and trying to get round the side of them. So. Yeah, I think when we progress up the field, it's usually very measured.
You got the stream tonight, and
because I don't think we've got outstanding pace in the team. Actually, I don't think Jack Clark is a speed merchant. and Roberts definitely isn't. You know, we haven't got the type of players who run. You know, that's what we're missing with Ross Stewart. So look, a bit of both. I think we've got to give him a bit of time. I think he will hopefully settle into the role. You know, he's trying to learn to play with players like Roberts and Ahmad. You know, they're so tricky, they're so intricate. Their play sometimes.
My work told me that I should be supporting them in the final, as it's all good for the North East, except after Smiley went to the Bulls and Sand. Very anti-Mag songs. She was truly legitimate. Absolutely, David. Can't believe, Bristol City were played last week, and they're quite like exactly mid-table. I thought they should be higher up. Have you seen where they are? Have you seen the team that they're below?
I know, but how many times has he been lucky that he should have been sent off and he's getting away with it? That's what I'm trying to say.
I don't know, have a look.
That's not bad either, because that means he knows his boundaries. You know, I used to get 15 to 20 every season, and most of them were after the deadline, because you play the Oracle and you know what you can get away with. So I think he's good at that. You know, the one time he did get sent off, he punched someone, didn't he? That's what, if I remember rightly?
The sending up was recent, wasn't it?
The tackle, wasn't it, when he came through the bloke?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Yes,
it was, yeah.
So
sorry,
I think it was a late tackle.
Jumping on that lad's back, Mark, well, that's the third time. I mean, I'm 76 now, and I've watched Sunderland since I was 8-year-old. And that's the third time I've seen that happen on a football field.
Okay.
In the 50s, we had a winger called Jack Overfield.
Yeah.
He was a bit speedy, and a bloke jumped on his back.
Yeah.
And Malcolm MacDonald somebody jumped on his back. I watched that match.
I think these are knackered like.
And then that one there. That's the third time I've seen that.
Thank you very much, Arthur, for cataloguing the football pitch piggybacks.
Great memories.
Yeah. Yes.
Thanks very much, lads.
Thanks a lot. No, really good to talk to you, Arthur. Thanks very much indeed for giving us a call tonight. Quick one before you go, Marco. Do you know, out of the 24 clubs in the Championship, how many managerial changes there have now been this season? Have a quick guess.
Oh, it's unbelievable, isn't it?
Do you know the answer to that?
Ainsworth has gone again. There must have been...
No, he hasn't. He's just arrived, Ainsworth.
Yes,
surely he hasn't gone. He hasn't gone in the
I'm saying it's another change, though, isn't it? Yeah, sorry.
Right, okay.
Well, it must be... Gosh, some of them have done...
Have a guess.
13.
18 changes made by 14 different clubs. So some clubs have changed twice. But 14 of the 24 clubs have changed their manager already this season. There'll probably be a few more between now and the end of the season as well. Quick prediction for tonight, Marco?
Oh, win. I think we'll win. I think a comfortable win. I don't know, 3-1 maybe. I just think we are on form. I think the lads are absolutely enjoying the football, which is, it doesn't happen many times in your career, I can assure you, but where you're playing in a team that is just all on the same wavelength. But I think we've got something near that at the moment.
Thank you very much indeed, Marco.
Well, Marco Gabbiadini's confident there.
To look back at
Marco Gabbiadini thinks Sunderland will win 3-1.
Just over 15 minutes away, and Barnsley and Benno will take you there next.
Radio Newcastle were there our first night.
We hope so.
BBC. They were the only radio station that came.
And we'd like you to get in touch about absolutely anything.
I would like to record a song, and I would like that song to be played at my funeral.
I think a lot of people listening understand the power of local.
David's been on from Jarrah, says, listen to the show, Matt. Was wondering if you'd give me a little mention to cheer me up. I'm feeling a bit down.
It's North East people on the North East radio station.
Without you, we're absolutely out.
Always been fantastic to us, so thank you.
That would probably be right.
We can be there for you through whatever comes our way.
And it's not just people, you're not talking like this.
Whereas Anthony, you wear tie-dye in his neighbour's curtains.
It helped a lot of people's mental health.
Good or bad, happy or sad, we are here for you.
Oh, he's here. He's
we
here.
can make a difference.
Local radio rock.
I was just saying, I was talking to the lads in the chat, we played Bristol City last week and stuff. I'm surprised they're only mid-table. Like, have you seen who exactly they are below Bristol City? Not very nice. They haven't got one, have they?
Kicks off here.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
He's been overconfident about SFC, but we should win comfortably tonight.
The PA are blasting out the tunes. And the players just down at the corner.
We're some negative, lads.
Yeah. Again, great support again by the Sunderland supporters. I think everywhere they go, they're the ones who make that atmosphere. But we are better on the road. I think the reason being is that the home team, I think they're sort of caught in two thoughts really in regards of do they press high or do they sit back. Now, if they sit back, then it suits.
Hello.
Because, we've got more space and time to pass the ball. If the press,
it is. Yeah, I was just checking the league table. It was Preston. My apologies.
Play around them where at the stadium are light. When we get teams there, they get 11 men back behind the ball, and it's a case of us trying to break them down. Which, you look at the game against Bristol City, a point, I would say, was a fair result. We did have opportunities, and I think when they do come up, especially at home,
it's not going to be in.
But credit to Bristol, at least
John S. dreading this as a Rotherham fan. He thinks Rotherham 0, Sunderland 4. I don't know. I've got a funny feeling it's going to be I reckon it's going to be a frustrating 0-0.
Dan, firstly, you must be frustrated, obviously.
It's not going to be easy what a lot of Sunderland fans think it's going to be.
But overall, Bristol City probably feel that they deserve
the
point
but
in the game.
This is Sunderland. It's just Sunderland.
Yeah, I think it was a good game of football. I think we put
in,
it
as a
on a whole
fan.
a good performance. I think first half we was quite slow and there wasn't many chances. I think they hit the post. But second half,
I'm just amazed, John, how you're struggling in the Championship because you were on fire in Division 1.
Chances to win the game, and I felt comfortable after we took the 1-0 lead. So I felt like the only way they would score was an incident like the one that happened. So I think overall we probably deserve the win, and we're disappointed.
Far cry from last week's game though against Reading. I mean, I suppose that's the worst case scenario, that teams come here and sit back behind the ball like that and waste time like they did.
Yeah, I think they're on a great run themselves, and you can see why they've got.
No, I said 0-0. 0-0.
They brought 3 strikers off the bench towards the end of the game, so it's always going to be difficult. But they come to win today as well, and they definitely had that threat on the break.
Do you feel at the moment you're in this sort of relentless Saturday, Tuesday run, and it with the best one in the world, it is mentally tiring, isn't it?
Taylor is a League One manager. Leave it at that. Fair point. John.
Yeah, I think it showed a little bit today. Like the first half, it's tough to get going again. I think the bodies and the minds are tired, but when you're on a good run like we are, we want the games to come, as fast as possible. So we're enjoying every game. We're just enjoying the run that we're on, and we want the games to come. It's enjoyable playing the games. It does take a lot out of the body, but
one note
sure
to
the lads would rather be playing games and training.
I hope, for all the critics, including me, that Gelhardt does get a goal or two. Because if he doesn't, then, like I say, the fans will be starting to put him on the list of one of the worst loans we've had.
It's as solid as any, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's a great player next to him. He's very experienced, and he's someone that I can learn a lot from, and he keeps me on my toes a lot of the time. He's always giving me information, the players around him information, so he's great to learn from, and he's great to play alongside.
There was a time, of course, when COVID, we could hear everything the players say on the pitch because there was nobody in the grounds. We can't hear now. What's the dialogue like between Patterson, you, Danny, the players around you?
Yeah, I think it's all positive talk. It's giving a lot of information, tracking runners, where the opposition are. There's no talking for the sake of it. It's good information, a lot of encouragement as well, and it's good.
Why do you think Sunderland seem to be performing better away from home this season?
It's going to let you know if there's an opponent there, so just gives you that confidence.
Go again Tuesday. I think it's a different sort of test, isn't it? Rotherham's going to be.
Yeah, I think it might be slightly more long ball, more of a battle. So it's how we're going to go there and perform the way we do. We want to pass the ball. We want to cut teams open. I think we've got some really good technical players, and We want to play exciting football.
Are you and Danny due a goal?
Yeah, I don't think we scored all season, so I think our timing and stuff's getting a lot better now. I feel confident in the box, attacking balls now, so I think it's only a matter of time now.
Get the latest team news, score updates and post-match reaction on Twitter at BBC Newcastle.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Dan Ballard speaking to me after the game on Saturday. They do come round quickly. Here we are at the New York Stadium and looking ahead to the game with me, the Sunderland head coach Tony Mowbray.
Tony, you touched on Joffrey Gelhardt at the weekend and today. It strikes me minded to think of Mishu in the same sort of manner. He came in, played a couple of games, and his development as such as Joe's got to go through that same development. But look how Mishu is now developed into the player that he is.
I think first and foremost they're young players. They're talented young players. When you're on the training ground with them, they are boys basically. I know when they've got their kit on match day playing on that arena and in that pitch, they're just footballers. But I see them close up every day. They are just. I feel the vulnerability of a young guy really, and but when they have belief and confidence, and you try and give them that, they show you what good footballers they are. So I've got no issues about Joffrey being. He'll find the net for us. He's working really, really hard, and that's really important. I think the team appreciate the effort and the work and the running around and closing down, and as I said earlier, I think he contributed a couple of times to Clark's goal at the weekend, being involved in the build-up from our corner flag defensive position. So, I think just as a striker, he'd want to have goals next to his name, wouldn't he? We have to keep working hard as he does, and hopefully the goals will come.
Mishu and Dan Neil as well. They've built up a nice relationship in the middle in a very short space of time as well.
So I think good players do that. I think I don't sit here thinking, I've done something magical with them that's given them this edge. You're just trying to give them confidence to play and believe and look forward and trust their first touch and way to pass and have a competitive edge about you. And I think they bring that, and I think they've got really good talented players in front of them, so that when they play forward passes, then players know when to get a hold of it, know when to flip it around the corner, know when to do a little trick or secure the ball. So I think the team are functioning okay at the moment, and yet as I said, the difficulty of this league is so many different types of teams really. There is some very, very good football teams who've got their own identity in the way they pass out from the back and the triangles they play. But then you've got some teams who play very direct off the big striker and get the second ball and keep putting it in your box. It's so different to play against the different type of teams, and so you try and create your own identity. And all of them teams, the football teams, the direct teams, have to try and deal with you when you've got the ball. And how do they manage to do that? That's sort of a general mindset for the team, is that let's do what we do, let's play how we play, and but be mindful of the opposition. As I said, if they're a really high pressing team, for instance, let's not play in our own box, let's take goal kicks into our box.
Well, because teams have attack, so we have more space, and to be fair, we break like Ronnie O'Sullivan.
Play, turn them round early on and play some longer passes.
Hello.
And have runners chasing them. So. And that's all. That's it. And is that a learning curve? Yeah, I think so. Because if you continually, because we're not, with total respect, we're not Man City. We don't have world-class players who can play in really tight areas, one touch.
I've not seen the lineups because I was in the kitchen, so I'll have to find out what it is.
They very rarely kick the ball long, but even them players lose the ball in their own final third sometimes and find themselves a goal down. So, particularly in this league against the intense teams who push lots of men in, we try and get that balance right at that side of the game.
You spoke last week about how you know Nigel Pearson well. Yeah. I suspect Matt Taylor's someone you don't know so well, young centre-back himself as a player, but on the management ladder, if you like, now, but obviously looking to better himself this season.
Yeah, I think he Exeter.
Yeah.
He built his reputation, yeah, and they were always, perceived to be a very good team. I think they had a really good grounding for a few years. I forget their previous manager's name.
Paul Tisdale.
Tisdale, yeah. Thank you. Seems to be a club that was always very secure to me and played good football, and I would look for their results, and they always, it seemed to be as if it was a really tough place to go. And he obviously carried on Tisdale's work, and now finds himself in the Championship, and I think the difficulty of the job for him was probably been not to lose the identity of the club, because Paul Warne had been there a long time, and they had gone up and they'd gone down and they'd gone up and they'd gone down, but they're very, very competitive, and every season they play either coming out of League One, striving and fighting hard at the generally in the bottom half of the table, but when you play at Rotherham, you were in for a really, really tough game, and we're expecting a really, really tough game.
Just repeat the lineup again, and when you can.
Our style on them, and as they'll be trying to impose their style on us, and let's see who comes out on top.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett, MBE.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
Teams just being introduced to the crowd here tonight. They're on the pitch.
Let's see Pritchard start. Come on, Lady Sunderland to win.
There we go. Anyway, 3 changes for Sunderland tonight. They're in their blue. And it's O'Nien, Sirkin and
yes,
Pritchard
it was.
For Hume, Elise and Roberts. All 3 are...
That was under the Lee Evans even, wasn't it?
Rotherham make a couple of changes.
Yeah.
Leo Hjelde, who's on loan from Leeds, comes in
yeah.
at left back. And
what's his brother, isn't it?
On loan from Brentford, comes into midfield. He was in fact on loan at Stoke City the first half of the season. Fosu now here at the New York Stadium. The referee is Chris Kavanagh. He should have been in charge of the game.
Checking in from Germany, hoping to turn a few American Sunderland fans. Welcome, Keelan.
Peter Banks, the Premier League, Europa League, Champions League referee. The last time he was in charge of Sunderland was back in 2017 in the last Championship campaign when he was at
I would just like to pay tribute to Anthony Mackham for helping me out on my channel, because my video is still up there and it's a Premier League goal as well. Fantastic goal. 250 odd views, so there we go. Listen to Anthony Mackham, he knows what he's on about.
Underway, they're attacking the Sunderland end. The Mears stand away to our right in their sort of Arsenal kit. The red shirts with white sleeves.
Yes, Pet.
White
push it forward, darling.
Red socks as Ballard in Sunderland's light blue with white socks plays the ball back to Patterson, who's in yellow tonight. And
can everybody hear the commentary okay? Yeah.
Down the right wing, and in the end, it's put out for a throw to Sunderland on the far side in the corner.
Humphreys, is it? Centre back.
I think it was Humphreys, yeah. Cameron Humphreys, former Manchester City youngster, who put the ball out, and now the flag up again, this time for a throw to Rotherham, who come into the game.
I think Bolton Wanderers Stadium is going to be the best. What's it called? One Sheet or something?
Before that, a run of 4 games without defeat. They beat Blackburn here 4-0.
No, it's changed its name. It's going to change its name to Tough Sheet, the Tough Sheet Stadium. I'll Google it. I'll tell you now. Google it, and I'll bet you a packet of polo mints I'm right.
Above the bottom 3.
It's on the Bolton webpage. I looked at it last night because I seen it and I thought it was a joke, but it ain't. 100% true. Alright, DJ 1-0 to us. The need for me. Don't think this will be an easy game, Mike.
Run behind for a goal kick to
Sunderland.
You just see how Rotherham have set up, and they're pressed right up high.
Who?
Sunderland from
playing out. Yeah. And interestingly enough,
no, Alex Neil will not get this sack. Marcus Benson, hello.
So Sunderland forced into the goal kick, which is going to swing out towards the right wing, and is headed out by Fosu.
Jacob, do you want to do my homework for me and have a look on the Bolton site and find out what their stadium's going to be called? Just to tell Ant that I'm not joking, and because I want them polo mints.
And swept inside by Gelhardt. Now it comes back to Mishu. He finds Ahmad at the corner of the penalty area. Plenty of red and white shirts back behind the ball though, and Ahmad nearly gives it away to Hugill in the centre, and then it does get given away. It's picked up by Ogbeni, and Ogbeni, the Republic of Ireland international, trying to swing it up to Jordan Hugill, but it is knocked out for a throw by Dan Ballard. Technically Cardiff on loan, technically at Norwich the last 3 years, but he's been at Cardiff on loan.
Tell you what, it's going to be egg on Alex Neil's face, isn't it? Jesus Christ.
The Middlesbrough-born centre forward. Another throw here. It's gone out now for a throw to.
Sorry, Marcus.
Rotherham manager, Matt
Tough
Taylor.
sheet stadium.
Dennis Sirkin. Sirkin looking for Neil, but it's spun past him to Hugill, who's trying to find the gap for Shane Ferguson.
Yes, Paul Mellish, tough sheet is true. I mean, that is just ridiculous.
Swept back through to Patterson. Out into midfield, Mishu. Out to Pritchard. Wide on the left here in front of Tony Mowbray. Trying to get down the left.
Steve Cooper looks like he's popped about 10 pills of ecstasy before the game's kicked off.
Behind the 6-yard box. It's cleared by Grant Hall. Out for a throw to Sunderland. Strong clearance.
Forest manager definitely choose on bangers like.
Middlesbrough. And Sirkin with the throw. Drops down to Clark. Gets it back to Sirkin on this left-hand side. And Sirkin pokes it back into Dan Ballard down this left-hand.
But he does look.
And he plays it back to Anthony Patterson. Hugill goes to close in.
He has got a face like he's having a sauna full of wasps, doesn't he?
Gone up to the halfway line. Gelhardt back to Mishu. Mishu taking this down the right. Fosu's gone to give chase. Mishu's forced wide. Tried to slip it inside to Ahmad, but it's won back. It's intercepted by Rotherham, who break again here with Fosu. Tariq Fosu, the 27-year-old Ghanaian international. Then back to Humphreys at the left-hand side of midfield inside the
Imagine being called a tough shit stadium.
He pushes it on to Fosu, back into the middle, then and out to the right from Rathbone and or from Coventry, and Connor Coventry, who's on loan from West Ham, gets the ball forwards here, but straight to Sunderland, and it's up to Gelhardt on the halfway line. Ahmad down the right wing now. Gelhardt's continued his run. The cross looped up into the penalty area over the top of both Clark and Pritchard, and out at the corner for a goal kick to Rotherham, whose keeper Victor Johansson, a Swede, 24 years old, is highly thought of. He was at Leicester. He's been here 3 years. But I understand a lot of clubs looking at Victor Johansson probably in the same way that they're looking at Anthony Patterson.
Doesn't seem many seats full at the New York Stadium, does there?
Sunderland nil. Matt Taylor down below us in his black overcoat took over here in October, the beginning of October, but he's only won 4 games in his time in charge. The ball pushed up into the air, and it comes down here. They look for a free kick for a foul on Benny. They're not going to get it, Rotherham. Back through Coventry, down on this right side. Hall gets it back again on the right here. He's closed down by.
I wish they'd stop putting the bloody this advert on the telly at tea time, advertising tenner men instead of tenner ladies, because the bloke stands with his friggin' underpants. I mean, do you really want to? I don't know.
For a foul by Ballard.
No, when you're getting stuck into your pigs.
The referee all in black tonight.
Well, I mean, I have got a Lenore bottle to pee into under the seat, so it might help me a bit.
It won't change the decision.
It won't. It's going to be a good battle, that.
Tinnerman. But you just don't want that at tea time, do you?
It's going to be a battle between him and Ballard. Ballard's playing on this left-hand side.
Why do you think he switched them round?
I just think that
a penalty, get away.
Usually plays in this channel.
So you think Ballard's more equipped to deal with Jordan Hugill than Danny Bart?
A little bit more pace.
It's Swansea 1, Stoke 0. Stoke themselves not far above.
Swansea 1, Stoke City 0 as a latest score.
The ball looped into the penalty area by Coventry. Headed
What,
out.
darling?
Humphreys now just in front
Swansea
of
1, Stoke 0 is the latest score.
Pritchard, who felt he was fouled by Humphreys.
Oh, did you?
All right. Play goes on. Humphreys has it.
Back in a second. I'm just putting my daughter upstairs to bed. 2 seconds.
Yeah, battle, isn't it? It's going to be.
He's not going to give anything away. He's going to let one or two go, isn't he? He's not going to blow up all the time.
No, you're going to have to be physical in this game. He's going to allow it, isn't he? Again, there you are, strong challenge. The ball is broken for Michu on the right-hand side of midfield in the Rotherham half. Pritchard just behind him. Plays it back to 09 and he's trying to switch the ball across. What a good ball to Clark, but he's offside.
You shouldn't be offside. And that's
what a poor ball from 09.
It would have been a good ball, but Clark could see along the line.
Yeah.
He shouldn't be offside.
0-0 still, the 9th minute now. Victor Johansson throws the ball out into midfield.
You know what you're going to get out of Jordan Hugill. That's what he wants. He wants a battle. That's what he's looking for.
Only one goal this season, though, from Hugill. He's barged into Ballard. He's won the free kick, Ballard, this time. One goal for Hugill. That came in the League Cup for Norwich at home to Bournemouth earlier in the season. But, as you say, look, you know what he gives, he's strong.
You know what you're going to be
niggly.
For, yeah.
He's niggly.
He's going to be putting himself about. You've got to stand up to him, and well done, Ballard.
Once played non-league football in the northeast, the likes of Mars, Sea and Red Star, Concert, Whitby and more. The ball comes out to 09 on the right, heads it on, hooked away though on the far side by Gelder. Up to Hugill, who battles with Bart. Bart wins that particular battle. Up to Ahmad, but immediately Gelder's down on Ahmad's case. But Sunderland get the ball back into the Rotherham half, and Gelhart putting pressure on Humphreys, who's twisting one way then another. Gelhart got a touch. Humphreys has to swing this up through the centre into the centre circle, where it's nodded forwards to Pritchard by Ballard, and now Pritchard trying to get away from Fosu. He's got an advantage from the referee. Rolls in Ahmad, who pulls it back, crashes off Gelhart though, and then off for a corner.
Great play, great strength by Pritchard there.
So the first corner of the evening falls to Sunderland. It's away on the right-hand side. Pritchard strolling down to take it. Clark at the edge of the 6-yard box. Gelhart's up there too. The rest, apart from 09 on the penalty spot along the 18-yard line. Michu just outside, Ahmad just outside the box. Dan Neal in the centre circle. Pritchard then from the right, drives it in low actually, it wasn't great. Easily cleared into the stand on the far side by Hugill.
How many times have we said you've got to beat the front man?
I'll give Ollie Rathbone the credit for that. It was Rathbone who cleared it, but yeah, it didn't clear the front man. It was not a great corner. 09 will take this for Sunderland.
Well, I'm back. I take it I haven't missed anything.
Comes back to Pritchard, and he plays it back to Dan Neal now, just in front of the centre circle. Then Sirkin out wide again to Clark. Clark slipping the ball into the penalty area, but it will run away from Sirkin and behind for a goal kick to Rotherham. 0-0, 11th minute.
Don't forget, if you're new to the channels, you're not seeing us before, just pop a like on the thumbs up and click the subscribe button. Thank you.
Everywhere we go. Here's Johansson with a kick over Hugill up towards Benny, and Neal wins this one, but then plays it straight into the path of Rathbone. He's at the edge of the area looking to try and get Fosu in. Benny at the edge of the 6-yard box, and Patterson has to smash it away.
Ahmed did well there to recover. Got his foot in there.
And it's a throw to Rotherham on the far side. Felt hard done by at the weekend against Coventry. Had a goal disallowed. Apparently it was a legitimate goal. And they lost 2-0. Throw then from Rathbone down the line to Fosu. Comes back to Kjelder.
Paul Mellish says on chat, Been watching some videos of Gelhardt, and I reckon once he breaks his duck, he'll be a top scorer.
Humphreys just nodding it forwards, and out it bounces for a throw to Sunderland. And still.
And someone else, David McMahon, says, "Is there a time difference on here? So would be to be notification before it happens." So what do you mean? Like, where do you live? Are you living in Baghdad somewhere, or are you on about just a few seconds on the stream?
So this free kick wide. O'Nien takes it. Looking to drive it across the pitch, but the whistle's blown again. He's going to have to retake the free kick. Sirkin gets the ball.
And also, Rosie, if she's listening, have a bit of pig's trotters with some Tabasco sauce on as well. That spices things up a bit. It gets the immune system going.
That's a push. Free kick. I mean, it was a clear shove, but Ahmad has it again here now and plays it away from Kjelder back to Ballard. Ballard and Hugill's on his shoulder, his hand on his shoulder.
That's a push.
And that was a push. Ballard's complaining. The referee's just given the throw to Rotherham.
Exactly. You know, we just spoke about that.
He's off the Preston, I think.
He's going to let a lot of things go.
A frustrating 0-0.
Gateshead 1, Oldham 0. Long throw down
Chester
the line,
Street.
goes straight out. Throw to Sunderland, just down below us here. We're about halfway inside the Sunderland half, on the Sunderland left. Looking down for the back.
I know we haven't scored yet because Rosie hasn't said so.
Sirkin waiting to take this throw in his orange boots, finds Clark, who hooks it on, looking for Gelhardt, but Cameron Humphreys lobs it back up, looking for Hugill or Rathbone, and Ballard has to turn it out into touch again from the edge of the area.
Time for the vodka.
Another throw to Rotherham. Lee Peltier comes down to take this, former Liverpool youngster. And
was that Portsmouth, wasn't
he was at Middlesbrough last season. He's not been at Portsmouth in his career.
Be a bit like my dried moths I had as a snack the other night. They were lovely, them.
Take a charge. The ball caught by Patterson when Paul Warne left. He was in co-caretaker charge with Richard Wood, and they lost here to Wigan.
John S. says, what do we think of the refs in this division? Any different from Division 1? I wouldn't say there's that much difference, is there really?
Weaves another and catches Coventry. And
yeah, try to let the game flow a bit more, I would say, yeah.
Fosu away on the left-hand side. Fosu looking for Shane Ferguson down in the corner on the left. Just keeps it in and plays it back to Fosu. And Fosu plays it into the centre. Coventry, he lays it off again on the left-hand side and then down to Ferguson to cross, looking for Hugill, but it's too deep. And out will come Sirkin on this left-hand side to bring it forward for Sunderland.
They'll win that Stoke tonight.
Looks up, checks, and he just actually fell over and allowed Rathbone to come away with the ball. Looks slightly awkward for Sirkin, that. He's got up, and Benny's away down this right-hand side, trying to come in past Ballard. A good block by Ballard for a corner to Rotherham. Sirkin appears to be okay. He just lost his footing.
Well, I think he could have switched the play. He's tried to do a little bit on the ball and he's lost it.
So a first
good spell of play from Rotherham miss at the minute.
On this right-hand side.
Good spell of pressure from Rotherham.
Is going to take it. 56 caps now for.
We've got a corner.
Ireland. 5 years at Millwall before coming to Rotherham in 2021. And with his left foot towards the far post, headed away behind. Does it? No, just kept in by.
Sunderland haven't got into second gear yet, have they? They're just having a bit of a warm up, I think, at the minute.
And so Chris Kavanagh stops.
I think there's going to be a lot of this play from Rotherham. I do think they'll be wanting to slow the game down, as a lot of teams, not just Rotherham mind, a lot of teams do against Sunderland.
It's going to be one of them games tonight.
It is. It's not going to be pretty, is it?
No. I think the referee's going to play a part in this.
Aidan McGeady sent off here, of course, in the game here last season. That 5-1 defeat. It's Swansea 1, Stoke City 1. 0-0 here at the New York Stadium.
Well,
Patterson with the...
Here's a question for you for a bottle of Brute aftershave. Which Sunderland player got sent off against Rotherham last season when we lost 5-1? Don't Google it.
The throw.
Nope. Last season when we were in League One against Rotherham and we lost 5-1. Which Sunderland player got sent off?
By Dan Neal, out for another throw to Rotherham. And Matt Taylor having a word with...
There's a lot of niggling going on.
As the ball cleared by Ballard, back up into the Rotherham half, and it's headed across by Grant Hall, and eventually into the...
It wasn't Embo. Well, shall I give you a clue? He lives near Preston. No, see, I'll give you a clue. It's
Gelhardt down the right. Cameron Humphreys jumps in and gets the ball for Rotherham. 0-0.
Oh yeah.
And
1-0.
Hugh Gill takes a shot and scores. In fact, it's Rathbone. It's Rathbone from the edge of the area, and he's driven it in low. Ollie Rathbone from 18 yards.
That was McGeady that got sent off.
And in the 19th minute, Rotherham take the lead.
Well, you cannot afford to give a player that.
Well, there goes my 0-0 out the window.
You know, the friend of the ball into midfield, he's picked up, he's run, and nobody went to him, so he just thought, well, I might as well have a go here. You've got to go and confront him.
It's a good finish, mind.
Far too easy for him to get his shot away.
Nobody closed him down.
But there's nobody closing him down. No.
It's Rotherham United 1, Sunderland 0. And Rathbone, with his 4th championship goal of the season, has given
I told you they'd win.
The lead. So Sunderland, well, we knew from the pattern of the opening.
Yes, John, it was a good goal as well. It was a good goal, John S. Terrible marking from Sunderland.
1-0 down. They've been a bit discombobulated all through.
Oh, what a save!
Pritchard now inside the Rotherham half. Forces Johansson to dive at full stretch and tip the ball over for a corner.
Excellent.
Nearly curled into the top corner.
You wouldn't be surprised if we lost tonight, though, would you? It wouldn't be a shock.
He had too much time and space. He's ran with the ball. He couldn't believe it. Nobody's actually come out to him, and he thought, well, I might as well have a shot here. It's a good strike.
It was a good strike. Drilled in low into the bottom right corner from the left edge of the penalty area, the 18-yard line. Here's Pritchard with a corner again. This is a better one. Oh, and just past the post. Ballard's header. We talked about Ballard getting his first goal when I spoke to him after the game on Saturday, and that wasn't far wide.
Yeah, Sunderland are down to 8th position as it's.
But just past the post. 1-0 still then to Rotherham.
We're getting 3 points tonight because we've got a very, very hard trip to Coventry. That won't be easy at all.
Yeah, at least there's still a long way to go. We're only a quarter of the way through the game. Pritchard trying to keep it in, doesn't, just knocked out on the right-hand side here. Swansea 1, Stoke 2 now. And Liverpool 1, Real Madrid.
David McMahon said the time difference is off-putting. I guess, are you listening to something in your home which is slightly behind or ahead?
Championship. Rotherham 1, Sunderland 0, and Sunderland win a free kick. Down below us here, Ballard just trying to making a point that Hugh Gill's come forwards and won't step away. Trying to say that the ball's in the wrong position, Hugh Gill, but Ballard just plays it back to Anthony Patterson, who taps it to Danny Bart. Bart bringing this out now up to the halfway line.
You're not going to get
shoved in
anything
the back,
from the
but he
referee.
has to get up and get on with it because the referee's going to give nothing. Rathbone again here looking for Ogbenny. Ogbenny trying to come round Sirkin on the right side of the penalty area.
There you go, mate. I've just turned the microphone down, Kieran. Just let us know if that's a bit better, mate.
Says the referee. And cleared.
Give us a thumbs up, Kieran, if you can hear that better.
Sirkin
Not as
did have
loud.
his arms around him and seemed to pull him down.
Nicholas, if that doesn't show you what we've been talking about, nothing will.
So,
it's quite heated. And you've got to say, from our position, it looked like a foul.
So, now the home fans restless to our right because they felt that was a penalty kick.
This could be a very uncomfortable night for Sunderland tonight, this.
Rotherham, Peltier takes it down the line from halfway. Hugill heads it in. Bart from the edge of the penalty area on the left drives it up to the halfway line, and back it comes. And Hugill is going to try and chase back after it, but it's run away from him behind for a goal kick to Sunderland, who trail 1-0 in the 24th minute.
Nick, you've seen how the game's set up. Rotherham are going to try to make this game as ugly as possible. You know, okay, the referee's not.
You're welcome, Kieran, mate. You're welcome, fella.
Get on with it.
Yeah,
he's
exactly.
not going to get. He's not going to give any fouls.
Just get up, get on with it.
He's going to let things go.
Clark
That's
out
bad
to
from fucking Pritchard, that, mind.
Clark's run, and it's gone over the goal line. Clearly, we can see that from here. And it's a goal kick to Rotherham, who have got something to hold on to now as well with that Ollie Rathbone goal. Coming in the 19th minute.
Would not surprise me at all if it finished 1-0 Rotherham.
Blackburn and Preston,
Won't be the first, won't be the last. It's Sunderland AFC after all.
Ollie began his career in the Manchester United Academy, then
Sunderland never do things straightforward.
Rochdale. Ballard heads the ball away from Hugill, headed back again by Coventry. Hugill trying to knock it through to Rathbone. Rathbone out to Ferguson just at the corner of the penalty area, back here to Fosu. He's about 25 yards out.
Sounds like Jacob's talking in his U-boat as well.
And it's a Rotherham corner. Rotherham's second corner. Connor Coventry.
Yeah, we cannot afford to go two goals
he's going to take this.
It sounds like he's being kidnapped and he's being gagged somewhere down in the cellar.
And they've got plenty of bodies in the box. Yeah. Rotherham.
Grant Hall. Got to make sure.
Two out in midfield. Rathbone and Humphreys.
Silly.
And so here comes Coventry. Curls this round. It's headed over by Peltier. And it's going to
Tell
be
you, if we can.
Sunderland. Rotherham
Who
away
scored?
To Swansea on Monday night. I've just confirmed with Ian Smith, our rugby union commentator, that he's an idiot.
He's an idiot.
He doesn't disagree. He says, "Is the New York Stadium the old Rico?" And then realised, no, that's Coventry.
So what, if we gone 2-0 down, we're in trouble?
He says he's an idiot, and I can't help but just agree with him. I think that's fair enough.
True.
But at least he's listening. So we must credit him for having a modicum of good sense. Patterson then with the goal kick away. It swings to the left on halfway. Benny trying to get it on, cleared back by Ballard, and Clark trying to nod it on down the touchline. Out it goes. It's a throw to Rotherham, which Peltier will take.
Who's 2-0 behind?
Just short of the halfway line on the right-hand side. Rotherham leading through that Rathbone goal in the 19th minute. We're in the 27th minute. There's more shirt tugging going on down here on Hugill, but Chris Kavanagh's having none of it.
Tell you what, some of these on my right-hand side need to calm down.
Are they worse than Millwall? Do you feel less secure than?
I'm going to go for 3-0 Rotherham now. That's what I'm going to go for.
Right. I'm just giving you an eye. There's only a couple of feet between you. Mind, he looks about 75. I don't think you're under any real threat up to your immediate right. But then again, you never know. Back it comes to Patterson from Bart at the edge of the area. Driven up through the centre. Grant Hall turns it away through the middle. Rathbone onto this, and to his right to Peltier.
Bulldog fitness, what's with the clickbait image? That's me mum. I'd like you know, Bulldog. So don't be rude. Someone's saying, what's with the clickbait image on my stream? I says, it's a picture of me mum, so don't be rude.
The ball driven up and picked up by Ahmad in the end from Hjelde, but then won by Fosu. And Fosu in the middle here just lays it off now to
on my stream.
Back to Hall, and to his left Humphreys, and out to Hjelde on the far side, looking for the run of Shane Ferguson on the left wing. O'Nien stands his ground in front of it. It comes back to Fosu, then out on the left, played back inside to Fosu from Hjelde. Fosu still has it, plays it back to the left of the centre circle and across here on the right.
It's me mum, my name's Maureen, say hello.
Peltier. He keeps it on the deck for Rathbone, stabbed away, Rathbone goes down, no foul. Hugill plays it back to Hjelde, out on the left-hand side.
You crack me up, we won't get another for several games.
And now back inside to Coventry.
Yes, my mum does still bathers. I do have my socks on though, just to let you know.
Pritchard in front of him, back to Ogbeni. Fosu looking for Ogbeni, and now it comes out to Peltier again. Peltier trying to roll it into the path of Rathbone down the right of the area. Out to Peltier. Pritchard leaps, blocked by Sirkin.
Jezza Clark's just posted in the chat 2-0 Rotherham.
Yeah, we just need to get over this game.
Jezza Clark's just said 2-0 to Rotherham. I wouldn't be surprised, mind.
We haven't got over the game, have we, Nick?
Not at all. Not got into this at all.
No, they've grown into
Cheers, Bulldog, mate.
Confident now, aren't they? They've ruffled a few feathers.
And so Ferguson with this corner on the right-hand side, just to move the ball back onto the white line of the quadrant.
Concentrate here.
A bit of movement again, and it's rolled to Hugill, who plays it back to Ferguson.
It's not the best of games from Sunderland, though, is it, at the minute?
And then there's a push by Ballard on Peltier in the penalty area. It's gone out for a throw. And
we're playing shit like at the minute. We're playing shite.
Hjelde, Norwegian, just strolling down to the corner. The youngster on loan from Leeds. Now he's left it for Ferguson again. And he takes it, drops it to Hjelde. He's tripped by Ahmad. And a free kick to Rotherham over on the far side. Between the
I don't think Sunderland have turned up yet. I think they need a cold bloody shower or a cold bath at half time.
19 yards out.
Can't keep them away free kicks and set pieces, Nick. You know, they're a big team.
Could be.
They're looking for that second goal, aren't they? They know that if they can get a second, it puts them in a very strong position.
It's not a very convincing performance by Sunderland, though, is it? At the minute.
A bit of a conversation taking place over on that left-hand side. I think who's on the free kick taking? Ferguson swinging it to the far post, headed away by Ballard. A chase across here to the touchline for Grant Hall. He keeps it in. Hall
win here is a potential fourth place, says Bulldog.
To cross, headed away by Luke O'Nien, this time in front of Hugill, and then cleared by Clark right back up into the Rotherham half to their keeper Victor Johansson in the middle, and he drives it right back up the other way. Sirkin's got to keep his eye on it, heads it forwards here down the right, dug out and played to Ogbeni inside looking for Rathbone, comes back out to Ogbeni from Rathbone. Behind him, Coventry.
I just want to see Sunderland get hold of the ball, pass the ball around, let's have possession, let's look dangerous.
An advantage played by the referee. Pritchard has it out on the left-hand side here now, and Pritchard plays it back to Mishu. He's trying to come in past Fosu, plays it out again to Pritchard, and back here to Sirkin, and Sirkin into the centre to Dan Neil, just at the edge of the centre circle. Then O'Nien out to Ahmad, and Ahmad inside again to Neil. Neil back to Ahmad, and Ahmad back to Dan Neil. And he taps it through here to Ahmad, but it's intercepted. But Dan Neil wins it back from Coventry. And now Neil plays it to O'Nien on the halfway line, back to Danny Barr, and back to Patterson in the middle of his half. Out to Ballard, across to Danny Bart, and Bart back to Patterson.
Can imagine the lads getting slated at half time when they do the social media readouts if this doesn't change.
And Patterson drives the ball out to the right wing, looking for O'Nien, who heads it on and in to Michu.
Well
Brings
done,
it down. Well, Gelhardt trying to play it through for Clark, and the keeper comes out, slides out, and smashes the ball back up onto the head of Danny Bart. And then it's won by Michu. Finds Pritchard, closed down by Rathbone, but Pritchard just keeps it by running a little circle around and then out to Michu and out to Ballard. And Ballard out to the left.
If we equalise Tony Mulberry, I'll probably put a defensive team out to protect the 1-1 draw.
Short pass forwards to Michu, who gets it back again on this left-hand side, taking it on, trying to cut into the centre here. Michu still going, finding O'Nien. O'Nien pushing it through to Gelhardt at the edge of the penalty area, trying to dig it out. Rotherham win it back, and Ferguson roll it back to Hjelde, who's going to try and get away down the left wing. And he skips round O'Nien, and then is tackled on the far side by Dan Neil, and it's a throw to Sunderland, which he takes quickly. Drops to the feet of Ahmad. Ahmad into Michu in the centre circle on the halfway line. He pushes on now, lifts one up, lobs one up into the penalty area for Gelhardt, who brings it down on the right. He's got support. He leaves it for O'Nien to try and cross to the far post, and it's headed behind by Ogbeni on the shoulder of Sirkin for a Sunderland corner. Pritchard going down to take this. Ahmad's gone down with him on that left-hand side, and
I think Ahmad's been quiet the last few games.
Again, they've got Clark and O'Nien on the 6-yard line. Gelhardt in there too. Bit of running and jostling.
Well, you can if you pour petrol on him.
Goes into a bundle of players and is dug out by Rotherham, and they're looking to counter-attack, but quickly.
Come on then, lads. What does Sunderland need to do? Is there anything in the gameplay wrong at the minute? 33 minutes gone, we're 0-1 down. What we're doing wrong?
34 minutes nearly played. Rotherham United 1, Sunderland 0. Live on BBC Radio Newcastle. Blackburn 1, Blackpool 0. And back here it comes through to Johansson for Rotherham United. He scoops the ball up in front of Joffrey Gelhardt, and he's happy to take his time. Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 0. Pritchard's header on.
Confidence, lack of.
Grant Hall. Hugh Gill lays it off inside to Coventry on the halfway line. Back to Humphreys, back again to Johansson, who drives this up through the middle. Bart heads it back through the middle. Humphreys beats Gelhardt to it. It's an up and under, which is just turned away with the outside of the boot of Ballard. And then one here by Rathbone on the right wing. Down to Ogbeni. Ogbeni inside to Rathbone again, down the right of the penalty area. Looks up, dinks a ball across, which is caught by...
He's going to roll around on the floor till the referee stops the game again, isn't he?
Well, he's either thrown
there we go. There we go. What did I say?
Now the referee's coming back here.
He's come back.
Hugh Gill's on his back in the 6-yard box. He's having a word, the referee, with Danny Bart. I didn't see what he did. I was watching Patterson.
I think he got a push in the back, but there's no way he was going to get to the ball. It was already in the goalkeeper's hands.
And the referees, Chris Kavanagh, has walked all the way back to Jordan Hugill here, having a word. Hugill pulling himself
John Esther says, we don't want Sunderland playing it on the floor. This is the Rotherham fan. He says, we do not want Sunderland to play it on the floor.
Away, Chris Kavanagh. Players coming down for a bit of instruction and some drinks.
No, this is the Rotherham fan saying we do not want Sunderland to play it on the floor.
On the halfway line, we're in the 37th minute. Rotherham leading 1-0 from the 19th minute. In what is a scruffy game. It's going to be dropped to the feet of Ollie Rathbone.
Be a hell of a win if Stoke beat Swansea at Swansea, mind.
Pritchard. And Michu's ushering everybody to come Ballard to the ball. Come up for the ball here, because it's going to be dropped at Ballard's feet here on the halfway line.
God, this is such a scrappy fucking stop-start game.
Fouled by Hugh Gill, who's caught him on the ankle right in front of Chris Kavanagh.
That's a booking. That's a booking.
And the referee's now calling Hugill to him. He is going to be booked. Yellow card for Hugill. Norwich 2, Birmingham 0.
We tend to fall over very easy, says John S., the Rotherham fan.
And,
there's a lot of teams do the same, John, believe me.
He's got another hour yet.
I know. Neither set of fans is thinking he's doing a particularly good job.
He's going to play a part in this.
O'Nien out to Ahmad. Back it comes to O'Nien on the right back to Patterson. Being closed down by Ferguson, but he drives it out to the left. Sirkin heads it into the centre circle, but to Humphreys. And immediately, well, nearly got it, Gelhardt. But Humphreys has survived. Comes away with it on the shoulder of Dan Neil, who wins it back. Neil now on the right-hand side. Looks to play it out wide to Ahmad. He's in the Rotherham half. He tried to play it off for Gelder, but it's come back through Dan Neil to Danny Barr, across to Ballard. Now to Michoud. And Michoud forwards again to Clark, back to Michoud. And looking for Gelhardt, but cleared again by Humphreys. One back by O'Nien. Gelhardt slipped inside to Pritchard. Looking for Ahmad, but he's played it the wrong side of him.
Would you be happy with a point tonight, lads?
Into touch. Throw quickly taken. O'Nien looking for Ahmad, but away come Rotherham again. Gelder wins a throw. Halfway inside his own half on that far side. 39th minute. Rotherham 1, Sunderland 0. BBC Radio Newcastle.
That means nothing to Sunderland. That means nothing to... As a matter of fact, that is totally against Sunderland, that.
On loan from Celtic to Ross County before joining Leeds.
I'd rather statistics reading Rotherham are the on-form team in Division 1. They've won the last 15 matches on the trot. I'd feel more comfortable and more confident Sunderland playing them than playing a team that are like really low on confidence and poor results, because we're just shit against teams like that, and they have been for 40 odd years.
Looking for Rathbone. Rathbone out to Ogbenny on this right-hand side. Ogbenny at the corner of the penalty area is fouled by Sirkin. Crouched and took him over his body. Ogbenny.
Red card, I believe.
Now as well.
Oh no, yellow.
So bubbling over, bubbling up.
Very much so.
So another set piece to defend here, right on the corner, the right-hand corner of the Sunderland penalty area.
And that's one thing they can't afford to do is go 2 down.
Yeah, especially now, just before half-time. So Coventry and Ferguson, the pair over the free kick. The line 12 yards out, 2 in the wall. Pritchard and Ahmad. Patterson just off his line in the middle. And it's going to be Coventry. Curls this in, is headed away by Clark. Back to Connor Coventry. And he, just on this right-hand side, plays it back.
We're just not getting hold of this game at all, like.
The centre circle with Rathbone square of him on the left, and Rathbone driving the ball high in the air towards that far corner again of the penalty area. Ferguson nods it back behind him to Peltier, inside to Coventry, back to Rathbone, looking for Fosu, out to Ferguson here on the right-hand side. Calling for it in the penalty area is Rathbone. It comes back to Fosu. The touch from Neil does enough to take it back for Ballard to clear. Back up towards the halfway line, where it's just a turn by Hall to Humphreys, and he plays it right through the middle. Fosu's little back heel.
What's he called?
Rathbone, and then out to Ferguson on this right-hand side. And Ferguson running, dribbling at Sirkin. Left-footed, curls it towards the far post, where it's caught by Patterson. Bowls it out quickly to try and get Gelhardt away on the far side. He pushes it on, looking for Ahmad's run, but it's cut out by Gelder, who's got back, and he will slip it inside to Humphreys.
Yeah.
And he will play
it gets too late.
Hugill, who goes up with Ballard, wins the header for Ferguson, and then a battle between Ogbenny and O'Nien on the far side. And it drops for Fosu again. Comes on through the centre. Cut out though by.
Why you were like that though, Anth? We're not fit enough to play 90 minutes.
But it only takes it to Clark on this left-hand side. Clark now running at Peltier. Clark still going onto his right and plays it across here to Ahmad. Ahmad pushes it onto his left and drives it high over the bar. You can see what he was going to do.
Yeah, he's seen what he's done. He's going to do.
Sunderland will win. We'll wait until 90th minute, says Bulldog.
Still 1-0 to Rotherham. It's Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 1 now at Anfield. We're in the 43rd minute here at New York Stadium.
New York.
Look at that, I wondered if you were for teasing you into bursting into song as you'll want to do.
I've just had another message. Coming in from Professor Denzel Dexter from the Kentucky University. The Gary Bennett psiometer is actually 88.5% this first half. So there we go.
Benny here on the right. Pritchard in front of him, who stabs a foot in and now gets it
I
back
don't know.
to
Yet to experience that, I think.
Passes it out to Dan Neal, and Neal trying to find Clark, goes straight to Peltier halfway, and forwards again here to Fosu. He's brought down by Neal, right in front of the referee.
Frustration.
Yeah, and it's, as I say, it's scruffy, it's horrible, it's not a nice game. And Rotherham lead it 1-0 as we're approaching the last minute of the 45. Sunderland pushing out 24 yards out to defend this free kick. Swept down Grant Hall, who pulls it back, but it's cleared by Ballard.
Ken Ayres just says no good striker starting to show.
As did Gelhardt, but it's dropped for Rathbone
not having a decent striker on the pitch is starting to show.
Then it's blocked by Ballard on the 6-yard box. Comes out to Peltier, curls the ball to the far post. Luke O'Nien heads it away, and Shane Ferguson will try and let it run out for a corner, but Ahmad did well to prevent him, and it's a throw to Rotherham. 1-0 to Rotherham.
What's your thoughts of the first half, lads?
The referee, Grant Hall's come and sat down at the edge of the penalty area here. The referee's run across and leans over the centre half, and it's going to allow the.
Is that a knock, honey?
Attention. So you have to wait for this throw, and Grant Hall getting looked at down here on the edge of the penalty area. Lee Peltier comes across with some words from his manager Matt Taylor.
This is exactly what Rotherham want to do, slow the game down.
And Peltier just lying on his back for a moment, then sits up again. We're going to have 3 minutes. That's a minimum, of course. Chris Kavanagh is trying to indicate that he wants Grant Hall to be treated off the pitch now. He's telling the two.
Away, man, you bunch of time wasting bastards, man. What are you doing?
Basically.
Fucking hell.
They're not really responding to him. They've just ignored.
Telly Hello said, I've said it for the last 4 games, Gelhardt is not the answer.
On the pitch in the penalty area, and Chris Kavanagh's not responded to that. I guess he's pointing back again to the edge of the pitch.
Papa John's semi-final, Plymouth Argyle have just taken the lead over Cheltenham.
The thing is, if he's suffering a little bit from concussion, it's not as though they can just say.
No, they finally are going to come off here.
Substitution.
It's going to be a substitution. Wes Harding's going to come on.
Yeah.
What's he done, like dislocated his eyelash or something? What's the matter with him? He's making a right meal of this, like.
So Wes Harding, the Jamaican, is going to replace Grant Hall here in the stoppage time being added on at the end of the first half. We'll get another minute, I'm sure, on top of the 3 that's being added on. The throw taken, cleared by Bart, looking for Gelhardt. But
Mowbray will change at second half. We have plenty of options on the bench. It will end up 2-2 or 2-1 to us. I hope Rotherham just don't get another goal.
Luke O'Nien will take this into the middle, looking for Michu inside the Sunderland half. He just taps it short to Ballard to bring forwards here. Ballard out wide to Sirkin, and immediately Benny is in front of him. It's inside then to Michu, has to stretch.
Tony Beckons, hope he proves me wrong, but I think he'll be taken off second half. I think he's on about Gelhardt there. And two Sunderland players get in the road of each other there.
Ahmad into the middle. There's a bit of miscommunication between Michu and Pritchard, and away come Rotherham again. They're looking for Hugill Fosu, but it's cut out, and it's Ballard who did that. Gets it to Clark down the left, and back into the middle now. Ahmad in the centre circle, over to O'Nien on the far side, and he's just in the Rotherham half, as is Gelhardt now down the right hand side, trying to get
fucking terrible.
Gets a bit of luck.
Terrible.
Gets the ball at his feet, tries a shot across the face of Johansson, and behind for a goal kick to Rotherham. Technically that's the 3 minutes. I think we'll have another minute because of the injury and the substitution.
He's a lot of
Rotherham leading through that 19th minute Ollie Rathbone goal, and Johansson with this goal kick. Players drifting towards this near side, and Johansson then with the right foot drives this up over halfway, and held up by Hugill and out for a throw to Sunderland. Probably 30 seconds left. Ballard to Sirkin, down the line. Harding heads it back again to the edge of the area, away from Ferguson. Across from Ballard to O'Nien on the far side. Rathbone's gone with him, now Ferguson goes as well. O'Nien gets it back to Patterson.
Great touch.
And Patterson out here to the left. Sirkin nodding it forwards. Harding will nod it forwards himself, looking for Coventry. Comes down to Ballard, and it will be half time here. There's the whistle, but it's the home side that lead at the break by a 0-0 in a scrappy first half, which Sunderland have never really got to grips with.
Yeah, and I think that's what Sunderland have got to expect, and coming up against some teams, that they're going to try to make it scrappy. You know, they're going to be route one. They're going to try to pick up the first or win the first or pick the second ball up. You know, because on the footballing terms, they're not going to beat Sunderland. But on the other side of it, we've got to step our game up. Okay, it's all right being nice and pretty when we've got the ball. It's when we haven't got the ball, what are we going to do? Because you look at the goal, you've got to say he's well struck. But he had too much time and space to run with the ball. He picked his head up and he kept going, and you're thinking, is somebody gonna confront him? Nobody come. He's good strike into the corner. Goalkeeper had no chance. But I think at times we need a little bit better quality around that 18-yard box. I think that sometimes it was just a little bit sloppy, shall we say.
One moment, wasn't there? Pritchard forced that tremendous save from Johansson, but other than that, they've not been trouble at the back. It's the final third, Sunderland really struggling to pull it together.
And I think, Tottenham will have a few harsh words that they've got to step it up. We've got to be a little bit, shall we say, a little bit more aggressive in the right manner in winning the ball back, and when we do win the ball back, let's keep hold of it. We can't get involved in the way Rotherham wants to play, because they're better at it than we are.
A scrap then to come in the second half, a battle here at New York Stadium, the second half to come on BBC Radio Newcastle and SAFC.com. At half-time, it's Rotherham United 1, Sunderland 0.
That sound is the horrifying sound from someone's dash cam while sitting in their car.
Rescue services in Turkey are once again searching for people trapped under rubble after 2 new earthquakes.
Matt Bailey at breakfast.
Sullivan Yildirim from Stanley. He flew over to Turkey after the first earthquake with his brother to find out how his family is.
It was a terrifying experience going through that, trying to get people out of the building. Luckily, we managed to get out on time. Fine, we managed to evacuate a few, but the rest are not willing to leave, so we're trying to improve the situation for them and people around us.
The sound of the Northeast at breakfast. BBC Radio Newcastle, making a difference in the Northeast.
So Sunderland behind at the New York Stadium at half-time. Rotherham 1, Sunderland 0. That Oliver Rathbone goal separating the side. Sunderland actually down to 8th in the table as it stands, but it is only at half-time this evening. We'll be back with Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett for full commentary of the second half in just over 10 minutes' time. 4 other games in the Championship tonight, as well as that game at Rotherham. Blackburn are 1-0 up on Blackpool. Tyrese Dolan after half an hour, so Blackburn leading there. Goalless between Millwall and the leaders Burnley. Norwich, though, are 2-0 up on Birmingham City. Marcelino Nunez scoring both of those goals. And Stoke City 2-1 up away at Swansea. Josh Lawrence scoring both of those as well. All 3 goals coming in the first 19 minutes of the game. Swansea were actually ahead after just a couple of minutes. In the Champions League as well, both of these games that kicked off at 8 o'clock tonight. Goalless between Eintracht Frankfurt and Napoli. But Liverpool are 2-1 up on Real Madrid at Anfield. Darwin Nunez with a terrific flicked goal after 4 minutes, or 3 and a bit minutes, the earliest ever Liverpool have ever scored in the Champions League at Anfield. They then went 2-0 up through Mo Salah after an awful mistake from Thibaut Courtois in the Real Madrid goal. They have got themselves back in the game though, Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior 20 minutes gone, making it 2-1. So that kicked off at 8 o'clock. They're still a good 7-8 minutes at least away from half-time. But Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 1. At the moment, the EFL Trophy semi-final between Plymouth and Cheltenham also kicked off at 8 o'clock. That one's goalless. Goalless, so too, the 2 games in League 1 and all 4 games in League 2, none of them have had any goals in the first half. So Hartlepool still drawing 0-0 at home to Newport County. Harrogate still drawing 0-0 away at Grimsby. In the National League, though, Gateshead lead Oldham at half-time. A Liam Hogan own goal after 7 minutes, separating the 2 sides. And if they can hold on to that, would be a terrific win for Gateshead again. But they lead 1-0 at half-time. Morpeth, though, in the NPL Premier Division, 1-0 down at half-time at home to Liversedge. Nathan Cartman, formerly of Darlington, scoring Liversedge's goal. So they lead 1-0 at Craig Park at half-time. In the East Division, North Shields are 1-0 down away at Tadcaster Albion. A couple of games in Northern League tonight as well. One in Division 1, one in Division 2. They're both goalless as well. At West Lotman Celtic against Carlisle City in Division 1. Esh winning against Chesterley Street Town in Division 2. Both of those goalless. And the Durham Challenge Cup semi-final between Hebburn Town and Seaham Red Star is also goalless. That one kicked off at 7:30, so they're in fact both Northern League games and that Challenge Cup game kicked off at 7:30, so they are into the second halves there.
Sorry, I didn't realise I was muted there.
Now equalised at Liverpool, and it's Vinicius Junior again. So they were 2-0 up after 15 minutes. Liverpool, they are now pegged back at 2-2 at Anfield, but like I say, still a good bit of time left, even in the first half in that one. And just to round up all the non-league stuff, a shout out to for Blythe Spartans for their terrific 1-0 win over Brantford Park Avenue last night. That is 2 wins in 3 days. They won. They beat Kettering on Saturday, won again against Brantford Park Avenue on Monday night. 2 wins in 3 days. It's moved them out actually of the National League North relegation zone as well. So here's hoping they have turned a corner. As far as we're concerned at BBC Radio Newcastle, there is the small matter of a Wembley final for Newcastle United on Sunday. Manchester United, the opponents, of course, in the League Cup final, 4:30 kick-off. Joe Linton is expected to be fit. Joe Willock could make a return from injury in time to play a part. One man who's almost certain to play a part is local lad Sean Longstaff. He was part of the media day at the Newcastle United training ground today. He had a big long chat with the BBC. Here's a couple of bits and pieces. Here he is on why Sunday matters so much to him.
I think just partly because where we were a year and a half ago, and you probably never think it's going to happen, and obviously me personally, you don't know if you're going to be here, you don't know if you're not going to be here, and the fact that I can sort of sit here now and know I'm going to play in a cup final for Newcastle is something I've always dreamt of, and the fact that we're going to get to do it on Sunday is something I'm looking forward to.
And there were plenty of people who thought Sean Longstaff might have left the club 12, 18 months ago, but they're both goalless as well. At West Lotman Celtic against Carlisle City in Division 1, Esh winning against Chesterley Street Town in Division 2, both of those goalless. And the Durham Challenge Cup semi-final between Hebburn Town and Seaham Red Star is also goalless. That one kicked off at
he's just done now, has he? Sorry, I didn't realise I was muted there.
Equalised at Liverpool, and it's Vinicius Junior. They're both goalless as well. At West Lotman Celtic against Carlisle City in Division 1. Esh winning against Chesterley Street.
Did my Newcastle career in a way, and I'll forever grateful to him for doing that, and just trying to repay him now with performances, and like I said, I'm just so thankful that he was the man to come in and sort of help us back on track, really.
So that is Sean Longstaff. Lots more to come across the week here on BBC Radio Newcastle, not just on Total Sport, not just on The Breakfast Show, but all the way through the schedule. And a reminder that our Wembley coverage on Sunday starts at midday. Matt Bailey and Simon Pride are on Wembley Way. Pridey then moves inside the ground, joins Matthew Raisbeck from 2:30 ahead of what I've said, 4:30 kickoff. We'll be on air until 7:30 as well on Sunday. There'll be a phone in after the game, whatever the outcome. So it'll be a cheerier phone.
We're lazy tonight. Diallo, Clark, Mitchell and Sirkin. Awful. Is that a bit harsh?
Sunday. Elsewhere today, sticking with football for the moment, Leeds United have announced the appointment of the former Watford boss, Javi Gracia, as Jesse March's successor. Subject, though, to obtaining a work permit, the Spaniard has agreed what Leeds have described as a flexible contract to replace the American. He was sacked just over 2 weeks ago. But the former Leeds midfielder, Carlton Palmer, is somewhat underwhelmed by the appointment.
I don't know, really. I don't think the Leeds fans are going to be excited with the appointment, but it is a difficult stage of the season. I can't comprehend why they would sack the manager at the point that they did, with no other real contenders. Once Sean Dyche had gone to Everton, there was no real other contenders out there.
You can hear me now. You're all right, man.
Another manager, unless you're going to pay compensation, a top manager at this stage of the season. So I think what they've done is they've gone for Garcia for what he's done for previously at Watford, and hope that he has the feel-good factor to keep them up this season and then reassess in the summer. So I suppose it's the best of a bad bunch, really.
Not exactly a ringing endorsement from the former Leeds midfielder Carlton Palmer, but yes, Javi Gracia announced as the Leeds United boss today. Managerial news in the Championship as well. Queen's Park Rangers have named Gareth Ainsworth as their new manager. He'd spent more than a decade as Wycombe Wanderers boss in the Championship and in League One, but he's left to join Queen's Park Rangers. Of course, he was in charge of Wycombe when they lost to Sunderland at Wembley in the League One playoff final last season as well. Loads going on in the world of cricket today. First up, Durham have signed the South African all-rounder Tristan Stubbs for the T20 Blast tournament later this year. He's only 22, but he is a South African short-form
positive.
In his maiden international innings for South Africa, he scored 72 from just 28.
We can't get any fucking worse. That's all I can say. We can't be any worse in this second half.
T20 50 and just 19 deliveries as well. So that's the kind of thing that Durham are hoping that he can replicate. Meanwhile, England's women produced a dominant record-breaking 114-run victory over Pakistan in Cape Town in their final group game at the T20 World Cup. England had already qualified for the semi-finals ahead of today's game anyway, but they became the first side ever to score more than 200 in an innings at the tournament. Nat Siver-Brunt hit 81 not out. England set Pakistan 214 to win, and she says it was the best performance of the tournament so far.
We asked for that today. It felt like a good time to do it too, because we've been here a good amount of time now, and we've been putting things in place, trying a new style. Everybody's sort of trying to find their own feet and play the way they want to play, and I think it's taken up until this point for that to click. Like everything takes time, and not everyone can fire at once. That's like a rare thing, isn't it? But today that seemed like what did happen, and that's the kind of performance we can put in when everything comes together, and we're hoping that this is happening at the right time, and it's going to keep going in that direction towards the semi and the final.
And England's men are preparing for the second test against New Zealand, which begins on Thursday in Wellington. Ollie Pope has told the BBC he's focusing on his batting. He's not being distracted by talk suggesting that he is a future captain in waiting. Pope also says it's a good time to be part of the squad under head coach Brendan McCullum. And
Carl Curtis has just said on the social media, very, very poor, probably the worst 45 minutes of the season. Too many sloppy passes. Look, panicked on the ball, no one busting a gut to win the ball, nothing up top, Gelhardt doing nothing, Ahmad losing almost every time he gets the ball.
Beyond, course,
absolute dire performance from Sunderland.
Well, I suppose anyone in the top 6 or 7.
Even in the first innings, no one went on to get a big 100, but I think if you can have guys contributing the whole way down the order, it puts you in pretty good stead going forward as well. And then hopefully, one day we'll kick on and get those big 100s as well.
Well, presumably the arrival beyond that of Harry Brook, the re-emergence of Ben Duckett, the regular appearances of yourself, it must mean that there's surely some fierce competition now, not only to break into the current side, but also to hold your place.
Yeah, a little bit of that, but I think what Baz and Stokesy have done is they've really allowed guys to have a good run, and I think that's the important thing. They sort of realise the type of player they want in the team. So if they do back you as a player, they're going to give you that extended run, even if you do have a few low scores, which as a batter, that can happen. So I think having that can really sort of take the pressure off a little bit, and that's probably why that success has sort of happened over the last 11 tests.
Yes, and there's no fear that this ultra-aggressive approach will suddenly come crashing down around your ears and that the team will suddenly suffer a good old-fashioned collapse?
I mean, we've kind of said it as a group. We said, look, it might happen at some point, but that's okay. We've won 10 out of 11 tests winning this way. We've won, obviously, in Pakistan, now one in New Zealand as well, and we played some seriously good opponents too. So I think we can accept it if it does happen. Obviously, we're going to try and avoid that. I think we've sort of made it pretty clear that it's almost bigger than winning what we're trying to do to Test cricket now. I think the franchise leagues with T20s going on around the world, we want to make sure that Test cricket's still the most exciting thing to watch. So that's part of what we're doing. But obviously, when it's not going well, it's not that fun. So I think, yeah, it's a mixture of the two. But of course, you're going to take winning ugly. We've not put in the perfect performances yet. So I think that's the most exciting thing as well.
That is Kelly Pope there.
No problem, Ken.
Rob
I'll let you know.
Bonnet. Just rugby to finish as well, because the Wales coach Warren Gatland says he believes a resolution will be found to avoid strike action by players ahead of the Six Nations match against England on Saturday. The squad announcement for the match in Cardiff was delayed because players have set Welsh bosses a deadline of tomorrow to resolve various different contract issues. Gatland says he's been impressed by the squad, though, in these uncertain times.
It's been a challenge, but in fairness to the players, at training and even this morning, they put their training heads on and trained well. We had a good week last week, working the players incredibly hard, and they responded well to that. So, yeah, there's been things going on behind. Obviously, we're well aware of that, but when it's come to training, they have applied themselves very well.
Meanwhile, the England captain Owen Farrell says they have to presume the game will go ahead, and assuming it does, it will be live on BBC One at 4:45 on Saturday afternoon. But for us, it is time to head back to South Yorkshire, to the New York Stadium. Rotherham leading Sunderland by 1-0 at half-time. Mick Barnes and Gary Bennett back with second-half commentary in just a moment.
Half-time highlights.
Total Sport.
BBC Radio Newcastle.
And away comes Hugh Gill. To the area, takes a shot and scores. In fact, it's Rathbone from the edge of the area, and he's driven it in low. Ori Rathbone from 18 yards, and in the 19th minute, Rotherham take the lead.
Nick Barnes and Gary Bennett.
Joe Gelhardt stay at Sunderland, I doubt
Radio
it.
Newcastle.
Cleaning the bins, more like it.
So the home side with that crucial advantage at half-time. Sunderland are out for the second half. No changes have been made or will be made. Patterson in goal, O'Nien, Ballard, Bart and Sirkin, Neil, Mishu, Ahmad, Pritchard, Clark and Gelhardt. And Rotherham forced into a change right at the end of the half when Grant Hall, one assumes it's probably concussion, was replaced by Wes Harding, the experienced Jamaican defender, and they lead through that Ollie Rathbone goal in the 19th minute of what was a battle, really a scrap, and Sunderland have got to contend with that. They're going to have to face it up.
No subs yet, Telly.
Rotherham have got something to hold on to.
Something to hold on to, Nick, and we sensed what the game was like after 10 minutes.
Nobody's come off yet, I don't think.
He's not going to give free kicks willy-nilly. That's for sure. So
bring on Alessi, Bart, Roberts and Bennett.
It's going to be rough and tumble. We've got to roll our sleeves up and get a result. Simple as that.
They could do with getting a goal back sooner rather than later, the longer it goes, without getting back on level terms.
Missing Dejaku today.
A win from this game, and the more that Rotherham will have something to hold on to. Sunderland are going to attack the stand to our right in the second half, and that's the stand in which the Sunderland fans are housed this evening. Pretty full, the rest of the stadium. Quite a few empty seats on the far side, the family stand. And a fair number of empty seats in the stand away to our left. But on the whole, not bad, as Sunderland do get this second half underway. And here's Dan Neil to play it out to Luke O'Nien on halfway, looking to try and find Ahmad, but Hjelde gets in front of him. Ahmad pursues him, but Hjelde, the Norwegian, plays it off Ahmad for a throw to Rotherham. Hjelde knew exactly what he was doing, the 19-year-old on loan from Leeds. He's now going to take the throw and down the left, looking for Hugill. It drops for Bart to head forwards. Inside from Gelhardt to Pritchard, back to Gelhardt, brings it down, gets it back to O'Nien, who's swung it over to the far side, looking for Jack Clark, but a poor touch. And it's taken out for a throw to Rotherham again.
Them things frustrate Tony Mowbray. You know, the simple things.
8'5", I think.
The ball gathered by Harding, who'll take this throw halfway inside his half. He's down the line.
He's gone and played that right back, and Peltier's come into the middle.
I think that's what's happened, isn't it? Peltier's come into the centre-back position, and Wes Harding's right back. Another throw as Harding recovers the ball halfway inside the Sunderland half, drops to Coventry, down the line again to Harding. Harding back to Connor Coventry from West Ham on loan, and in the box, shot drilled by Rathbone at the near post, but Patterson went down and made the save. Got a lot of power behind it, Rathbone, but Patterson was alert. He's out now with Ballard. Ballard still playing on the left and Bart on the right, as Michu trying to get forwards here, leaves it for Clark, back to Ballard, lifting it up over the top, looking for the run of Gelhardt on the shoulder of Humphreys, and at the moment Gelhardt has got it still, out to the touchline though, and he plays it off Harding for a Sunderland throw. Quickly taken, drops to Clark, slips it inside here, but Gelhardt just loses sight of it underneath his feet, and Rotherham are able to get it up to Hugill, wide on the right hand side. Hugill just in the Sunderland half, trying to get it through here, but no free kick is going to be given by the referee, as the Rotherham man Ferguson picks himself up off the floor, and it's with Sunderland here on the right. Ahmad from Dan Neil. Ahmad down the right wing now to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien curls a ball which the keeper now leaves. Watched it all the way, and it sweeps behind for a goal kick.
And the problem Sunderland have got as well, you know, when they do get the ball wide, like O'Nien's got the ball there and he's putting it in the box, you're thinking, well, we haven't got a Ross Stewart.
He's been kidnapped again.
It's got to be a perfect delivery.
49th minute. Rotherham still lead 1-0 then. We're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. The floodlights here, they're circular. They're on a big
too early to tell yet, I'd say.
And that disc is full of light bulbs looking down on the New York Stadium, as away comes Sunderland again on the left-hand side. Again, the ball whipped away from Michu this time and out for a throw to Rotherham on the far side.
I think we'll see Roberts in the next 10 minutes. We need a sparkle.
The
wife wasn't happy today. I says
this evening, I should say.
I says your sister's got an arse like a badly packed parachute.
190 from Sunderland.
Oh, yes. No.
The ball is back with Patterson for a goal kick, and again he's
it's going to be one
this time to Bart. Rathbone goes to close.
Is Rotherham
down,
Yorkshire?
And eventually it comes back out in midfield for Michu to win it. Neil, he picks it up and plays it to the right here to Danny Bart, and Bart drives the ball. He's looking for Clark or Gelhardt on the Clark on the left. Gelhardt has gone through the middle and it's gone out for a throw to Sunderland. Clark takes it quickly, finds Michu inside the Rotherham half, back to Dan Neil. O'Nien's calling for it. Pritchard gets it through the middle, back to goal, lays it off to Ahmad behind him, and Ahmad finds O'Nien. O'Nien closed down by Hjelde. Ahmad's just getting up off his knees, and the ball is on the halfway line again with Dan Ballard. Ballard down the left, Clark inside to Michu, back into the centre circle. Neil to Ahmad. Ahmad in the middle, trying to drift away from 4 Rotherham players. Out to Clark on the left-hand side of Benny.
Red and White Army couldn't get into the fucking Salvation Army at the minute.
Tried to flick it with his head, but it swept past him, and O'Nien keeps it in here. Gets it back to Danny Barr. Neil back out to Barr. Back inside again to Dan Neil. And Neil is looking for options.
Stoke City have to be the team of the night if they win tonight, mind, I think.
By Humphreys, and then Fosu fouled by Neil. Free kick.
Stoke City team of the night if they beat Swansea tonight. It's a tough game, that Swansea.
Crouched over the ball down below us here in the 51st minute. Rotherham still lead 1-0. Millwall 0, Burnley 1. And it's Norwich City 2, Birmingham 1. 5 games in the Championship tonight. Kick then, free kick, which will be taken by the Swede Victor Johansson. Drives it up towards the edge of the Sunderland penalty area. Bart lets it drop over him behind for a goal kick. Patterson throws the ball down quickly, then kicks out on the left-hand side, looking for Sirkin, forwards to Clark. Clark cutting back in and playing it in the middle to Dan Neil, behind the centre circle.
Oh man.
And then playing it out to O'Nien here in front of Matt Taylor, the Rotherham manager. Back to O'Nien, stabs it out to Ahmad. He's caught O'Nien by Rathbone. Referee gives the free kick. Ahmad takes it quickly. Back to Neil, on to Michu.
Oh, weird man, for fuck's sake.
To Ballard, and now Pritchard, back to Ballard in the middle of the Rotherham half, and he plays it back to Dan Neil just behind him. Neil out to Ahmad on the right, quickly whipped off him by Helder, inside to Rathbone.
Ahmad's half a fucking sleep there.
The centre circle, looking for the run of Hugill down the left of the Sunderland penalty area. Slightly lost the ball, which has allowed Ahmad to get back, and Ahmad wins the ball off him and plays it back to Bart, who clears it to Gelhardt. Behind him, it's swept out by Dan Neil, and Michu runs onto this. Michu with Gelhardt through the middle, and out to the left it's Clark, and Michu plays it out to Clark on that left-hand side, cutting in through here, looking for
get in!
The edge of the area.
Offside! Offside! It's offside.
O'Nien down the right has to turn and play it back to Ahmad.
It's offside.
Ahmad back to Dan Neil.
Ah!
Neil crosses it, comes off the back of O'Nien.
Yeah, he's offside.
Gelhardt's goal won't count.
Yeah, he's miles off. Miles off.
It was swept in, off the back of Ahmad. Gelhardt trying to whip up the crowd.
Yeah, he was. He was a good two foot off your offside there.
Remains 1-0 to Rotherham.
Great ball in. Good finish by Gelhardt. That'll do him the world of good. Yeah. Even though he's offside, but at least he got on the end of it.
Threw himself at it. Kick from Johansson. Bodies go down, play goes on, another body goes down, play goes on. It's a Rotherham man down.
Well, yeah, because we're getting on top of the game, aren't we? That's what we're going to do.
Hugill again. I think the referee's just a bit fed up with Hugill, actually. Keeps doing it.
He's saying get up.
And now away comes Pritchard, wide on the left. He's got Michu coming through. Clark outside of him, inside to Michu.
Ahmad, man!
Oh, it's swept past Neil.
Ahmad's having a fucking terrible game.
And he pushes it on to Ahmad down the right of the penalty area. Ahmad into the box, forced out by Helder. Plays it back here, but it will be picked up by Fosu. And then he's tackled. The loose ball cleared by Ferguson up to the halfway line. Hugill wins the battle with Bart. Drops for Ogbenny. He pushes it back to Rathbone. Intercepted his pass by Sirkin. Forwards to Clark. Clark now square to Dan Neil. Neil looking for Pritchard.
Well, they need to keep this pace up what they're playing like. They need to keep this up all second half.
O'Nien. It'll be picked up and cleared by Harding. Right back to Dan Ballard. Ballard through the middle again to Pritchard. Pritchard out to the left to Clark. Clark looking to try and find a way in. Comes back to Michu. Michu in the middle. Michu nearly tackled by Rathbone.
Oh, for fucking hell, it is as well. I don't fucking believe it.
Gets a foot to it. Fosu's got it though. Fosu away here now. He's got Ferguson to his left. Ferguson's in a bit of space. O'Nien's chasing. Ferguson scores.
This is fucking... I said 3-0, didn't I? I said fucking 3-0 and all.
Rolls it into the bottom corner past Patterson, and Rotherham lead 2-0.
Yeah, Sunderland now got a mountain to climb. You know, we've lost
Well, we're
the ball
fucking
in the middle of the park, Dan Neil, and then all of a sudden, Rotherham has been able to counter-attack. Ferguson gets on the end of it, good finish by Ferguson. But I tell you what, Sunderland have only got themselves to blame.
Yeah. Ferguson, third goal of the season, ran clear on the left.
How the fucking hell are Rotherham fourth off bottom, like?
Low into the...
Play like this, you should be in the fucking playoffs, surely.
Rotherham United lead 2-0 now. And as Benno says, it's a mountain now.
Every team play like fucking Barcelona against us, like.
In this game. Rotherham United 2, Sunderland 0.
That's why I said, Jacob, that's why I said, well, being negative and stuff, because I know, like I said against Bristol City when we won 1, and when I said that before half time, I said 3-0 Rotherham, because I just know what we're like.
Neil battling with Fosu. In the end, Fosu came away with the ball, and it opened up for Ferguson down that left side. Here again at the back, Ferguson trying to put pressure on Patterson, but he gets the ball out to O'Nien. Pritchard now on the right. Forced out and tackled by Coventry.
We are fucking all over the place.
Down the left to Hugill here, and Bart is on the back foot. Bart now trying to marshal his players around him, but it's stabbed through by Fosu, and Bart gets back to play it back to Patterson to clear. Up to the halfway line.
I'm not surprised though, I'm
heads it back. Bart brings it down on his knee, then with his left foot.
I'm totally not surprised. Totally not surprised at all. I cannot stand it when Sunderland play bottom of the table league teams. Cannot stand it, because we do this every fucking time we play.
Somehow they need to bring Roberts on. They need something else.
58th minute.
We want to get back into this game.
Yeah, 2-0. Ball over on the left-hand side now to Clark. Trying to get forwards here. Sirkin's inside of him, but Benny...
Therefore haven't converted to Louisiana, lads. I'm not surprised, Kieran.
Up to the halfway line. Ballard takes it down on his chest.
I've totally fucking lost interested in this. Like, I could have been fucking chilling out watching a film tonight.
Just outside his area.
Fucking hell.
Drives this down the left and it'll go out. Throw to the home team. Home record is mixed. 1-5, drawn 5, lost 5 here.
Like I say, I ain't surprised. I'm not fucking surprised one bit.
They lead 2-0 and they have a throw on the far side. And it's nodded in by Sirkin through Mishu. O'Nien has to work hard to get across here. O'Nien trying to get away from Ferguson. Turns it inside to Ahmad, back inside his own half. Looking for one of Pritchard, who'll be offside. No, the flag has stayed down. And Gelhardt now trying to roll it into the path of Clark. Tries to place his shot. Saved by the goalkeeper. Parries it away with...
I'm on the pub. I'm on the way home from the pub. I'm still tuned in.
In goes Neil and finds Clark again in the penalty area. Trying to find Ahmad in the middle, blocked by Kjelder in front of him on the penalty spot. And Rotherham get the ball clear again. Now an advantage after a foul by Sirkin. Away goes Ogbery.
Someone's just said in the chat 3-0 for fuck's sake.
At the edge of the penalty area, on into the penalty area he goes. He's trying to twist and turn away, and blocked by Mishu in the end.
Kieran says 2-2, mark my word. I can't see where a goal's coming from us, to be honest with you. We'll just look.
He was offside. Pritchard was offside.
Looked miles offside, but I mean the flag stayed down. So Gateshead 1, Oldham 1. Ferguson's going to take the throw down the left here, and it's 26-year-old Jamie Lindsay who's going to come on midfield, the Scottish midfielder for Rotherham in their red and white Arsenal kit. and Sunderland in their light blue. Ferguson with the throw, finds Fosu, gets the ball in the box. It's cleared though by
Roberts is coming
Danny
on.
Bart, and Roberts indeed is going to come on for Sunderland. So both sides looking to make a change now.
You still confident, Anth, we're going to win this? I get something.
You've been imploring them to get Roberts on.
I think he'll come on for either.
Get in! Get in! 2-1.
Here is Ahmad.
Gelhardt scored. Gelhardt scored.
Trying to get past Helder. Finds O'Neill.
Oh, it's offside. It's offside.
First time, yes! Gelhardt scores! Ran onto it, nods it down past.
Come on, you bunch of bastards, you.
Joffy Gelhardt gets his first and gets Sunderland's first on the night. And they're back in the game. It's 2-1. Joffy Gelhardt in the 62nd minute.
I'll tell you what a cross that was by Luke O'Neill. Right on the button.
The double substitution, Trey Hume's going to come on as well, but Joffy Gelhardt gets his first.
Well done, Gelhardt, son.
Sunderland. Just straight in.
Gelhardt's coming off.
Powered in and nodded it down past Johansson from O'Nien's cross. Triple substitution. Mishu is coming off, Roberts is coming off.
Come on, Sunderland, for fuck's sake, man. We shouldn't be in this position.
Who else is going to come off here? It's Elise.
Danny Bath coming off.
Who's going to come back on? Yeah, Elise. So, Danny Bart is the player being replaced by Hume.
Unless you're coming on, referee coming off.
Coming off, understandably after injury. Elise coming back on now.
Come on, Sunderland, let's just fucking murder these now. Come on. Never mind 2-2, let's go for a 4-2 win. Tear them to shreds, man.
I think he must have done. It would certainly.
Oh, no, Hume left back.
O'Nien's
gone in the middle.
Ballard, isn't it? As the three centre backs.
No, O'Nien's gone to centre back.
To centre back? Yeah, and still a 4. Hume on the right. Lindsay still waiting to come on for Rotherham. And everywhere we go, it's back on the cards.
It's a great cross by Luke O'Neill for the goal.
Come on, Sunderland, do what you can do, can you?
Lovely cross from O'Neill.
Oh.
It's Rotherham 2, Sunderland 1. Clark over on the left-hand side here, looking for Gelhardt. He digs it out down the left here.
Even the lads that are behind us in Deutschland, says Kieran.
Outstretched right foot volley from Hume, but he couldn't quite steer it in the right direction.
Don't push him.
And then there's a push on Hugill.
That's silly.
And a free kick to Rotherham. The substitution to be made now. And Ferguson's coming off. Former Newcastle United midfielder. Scorer of Rotherham's second.
If we come away with this 2-2, then that is a typical top 6, top 7 side in the Championship, because they've come back, they've never given in, but they've still got to do it.
In the 65th minute, we're live on BBC Radio Newcastle. It's Johansson with this free kick in his green short sleeve jersey, drives this down the right side.
But if we can play with the intensity like we have been when we've been on form, they won't be able to touch us, Rotherham. They just won't be able to cope with us.
At the edge of the area, drops down. Lindsay was trying to get on the end of it. Out it comes to Helder, and stabbed out by Roberts. Throw to Rotherham down this left-hand side. Helder's going to take that. The Norwegian being urged on by the referee to Lindsay. And now Helder again trying to come past Roberts. Roberts, I think that was his last touch. And it was, and it's a throw again to Rotherham on the left-hand side. 25 minutes left to play. As here is Helder again, trying to juggle the ball in the corner. Does manage to keep it in. Does he? No, the flag's gone up. It went out. It's a goal kick
So Mishu's going to have a bath with Dennis Sirkin.
Because a few minutes ago you said the offside goal on Joffrey Gelhardt would give him a lot of confidence, and a few minutes later he scores.
Yeah.
While tie-dyeing his neighbour's curtains at the same time.
Here's Ballard through to halfway. Roberts, nice ball trying to find Hume. Cut out there by Fosu. He leaves it for Coventry. Lindsay through to Rathbone, back to Coventry.
Oh, fucking streams
trying
froze.
to dig it out, but Coventry wins it and plays it back to Humphreys. Gelhardt gives chase, and then it's swept up to the halfway line. Benny battles with Elise, playing it back to Lindsay, but Pritchard gets a touch, find Gelhardt, back behind him to Ahmad a couple of yards. Ahmad out to Roberts on this right-hand side. Roberts, Neil on the overlap, goes inside though to Ahmad, back out to Neil on the right, first time ball to the far post, and couldn't quite keep it in.
I've got to say, good build-up play.
On the end of it.
I think the ball in from Dan Neil could have been better.
Someone on social media, Dan Neil's been absolute shite tonight. I don't agree with that. Like,
goal kick then to Rotherham. It's Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 3 now. So Real Madrid have turned a 2-0 game into a 3-2 lead. Can Sunderland do?
Pennywell pundit. Who's got the bigger cock, Mishu or Sirkin?
Back here to Ballard. Forwards to Roberts.
Go on the changing rooms and have a look.
And the loanee from Brentford is nudged over and off the pitch by Roberts. To throw to Sunderland, no free kick.
You're not going to get a free kick.
Back from Hume.
Yeah, I think he's referring. Both players have got pet poultry in the back garden.
Neil across to Pritchard. Out again on the
poultry.
Left to Elise, up to the halfway line. Clark back to Elise in his own half, and back to Luke O'Nien. O'Nien.
We're starting to get hold of the game now. Like, we're starting to sort of. We need to keep this tempo up now for the rest of this game.
Ballard, Roberts, Ahmad.
The stream keeps freezing.
Right-hand side on
Pack it in.
And Ahmad back to Luke O'Nien, just behind the centre circle. Then forwards to Elise on the left. Clark on the left, on the halfway line. Tracking across that, then playing it to Roberts in the centre circle. Back to Ballard here on the right. Down the right again to Trey Hume. Hume inside to Gelhardt. Gelhardt, little flick, lovely little flick inside to Roberts. The loose ball won by Gelhardt, spins out to Hume on the right here, and a block by Fosu, and it's a corner to Sunderland. Left for Pritchard to jog down and take for Sunderland in their light blue. Lots of animation from the Rotherham bench as they wave at the players defending this Sunderland corner. It's Sunderland's fourth corner from the right in front of the Sunderland fans. Pritchard, right arm raised then quickly, and it's swept in here. Headed away though by Hume, out to the left, and Clark will try and dribble this back in with his right, crashes off Peltier and goes for a throw on the far side. Across goes the long throw specialist, Elise, but he takes it short to Clark. Clark plays it back into midfield to Luke O'Nien. Square to Neil. Square again to Ahmad. And Ahmad back to Luke O'Nien. Forwards down the left to Pritchard. Pritchard looks up. Short pass inside to Dan Neil. Back to Luke O'Nien. 70th minute. Rotherham lead 2-1.
For fuck's sake, man!
To O'Nien. Now Neil.
Fucking hell.
O'Nien forwards to Pritchard.
We're not just no panic there whatsoever.
Took his eye off it, and it's run out for a throw to Rotherham on the left.
McFucking Madrid, are they a Scottish team?
It's being left for Leo Hjelde to take. A 19-year-old Norwegian walks down, strolls past Tony Mowbray, drives the ball off on
Have they gone 4-2 down?
The referee is wanting a word here.
He's on no rush, are they? That's why.
Not, and it's
Mike Dodds, is it?
No, it's Mark Venus has been ushered out of the dugout by Chris Kavanagh, and Chris Kavanagh's having a word with Mark Venus. Mark Venus.
Where we are now, like 7th.
Sits back down in the dugout. I'm not sure what that was all about. 4th official's a long, long way away from the Sunderland dugout, so I don't think he could have alerted the referee to anything. And now a free kick to Sunderland. Right at the back here.
What are Sunderland doing, man?
Area to O'Nien. And O'Nien out to Elise again down the line. Clark.
We're constantly losing possession far too fucking easily, and that's what gave us the second goal away.
Hume gets back in front of Fosu and gets the ball back to Patterson. Up to Gelhardt in the centre circle, but it's won back by Rotherham. Peltier.
They're going to take a fucking age to take this throw in now, aren't they?
Coming, but Elise blocks, and it's a throw to Rotherham on the far side. Deep in the Sunderland half on the right in the 72nd minute. Rotherham leading 2-1. Lindsay. The ball's put out by Harding. It's a throw to Sunderland on the left.
Bad day at the office.
Inside their own half. Elise comes across to take it. Elise down the touchline over Gelhardt's head, and it'll come back through.
We've got this 3-2, says Pennywell Pundit. Joe Hart, that day at the office.
Over him. Back up O'Nien trying to get his head on it. Fosu trying to get through to Rathbone, but it's run through to Patterson.
Plenty of time to get back into the game.
Yes, there is well over a quarter of an hour. 73rd minute. It's played out to Clark again by Neil. Back to O'Nien.
Oh, what a ball!
On the halfway line in the centre circle.
Oh, he's took too long.
Hume out to Roberts on this right-hand side. Roberts trying to get away from Hjelde, and he's gone into the middle. He's chipped it over the top for Elise. Flags down. Elise on his left.
Oh.
Great block though by Harding.
It wouldn't come down, would it?
Wouldn't fall for him. And it's a goal kick.
It wouldn't come down. Great ball by Roberts. Great vision.
Just chipped it, floated it over the top for Elise to run onto. Wouldn't fall for him though. Still 2-1 to Rotherham United. Johansson then with this goal kick. I think they might be thinking about another change, Rotherham. The ball comes back for O'Nien to deal with here. Hooks up high in the air, up towards the halfway line. Headed down by Gelhardt. He's running back for this, but...
Come on, Sunderland, do not let these back into this fucking game. We need to keep possession. We need to show our authority here.
Now through to Rathbone. Out on the right here. Hugill pulls it back and is fallen behind Lindsay. And Ahmad will play it out to Roberts on the right wing. Roberts trying to come past Hjelde, who stabbed at him, but Roberts still goes on, trying to thread it through for Ahmad. What a ball! And they had to be at his best then, Peltier, to whip the ball away from Ahmad for a throw.
It's unbelievable, that combination, isn't it?
Oh, the pair of them, it's so instinctive. Yeah. Here's Roberts again with Ahmad. Roberts down the right, curls the ball in, Harding heads it back over and out for a throw at the corner.
No.
Rotherham are going to make another change. And the throw will be left for Trey Hume to Roberts down in the corner, back to Hume on this right hand side, inside to Neil, back out to Hume, down to Roberts, back inside to Hume, trying to find Neil, just came off in.
Stop freezing, Stream, stop freezing, man.
Out for another throw.
Yes,
Roberts
son.
Takes it quickly to Ahmad, back to Roberts, and Roberts now dribbling, trying to flick it into Neil, trying to get it back to Roberts.
Get some snacks or something, son.
And a free kick, and they're going to bring on Georgie Kelly, a forward, I think. Rotherham. It's now Liverpool 2, Real Madrid 4 at Anfield in the Champions League. So that's gone from being 2-0 down, 2-0 up Liverpool to 4-2 down. Sunderland trailing here.
Well, we need to get our finger out and do it then.
Down. And 15 minutes to play.
Orlando Figueroa says 2-3, Sunderland will win.
Much better though since they brought on Roberts and Hume and Elise. And Gelhart's got his first goal. The ball back to Patterson. Pritchard playing it back to the left to 09 in the penalty area, back to Patterson.
Does your stream keep freezing, Ant?
Out to Hume, out to Ballard wide. Ballard, he's giving it away to Fosu. Fosu running into the edge of the penalty area, trying to slip it through to Rathbone, but O'Nien comes away with it. Leaves it for Neil. Neil back to Ballard, out to Neil, and out again on this right-hand side to Roberts. Roberts, Ahmad inside of him, and Roberts cutting inside himself.
So's Rotherham, though, that's the thing.
Into the middle to Pritchard. Elise out wide on the.
They're defending well, Rotherham, mind. They are defending well.
O'Nien. O'Nien through the middle. Looking for Hume here, looking for Gelhart, but stabbed away. And now played out to the left.
I just think it's funny, we're laughing at Alex Neil. He's probably going to beat Swansea.
Under pressure from Dan Neil. He takes the throw quickly to Trey Hume. Connor Washington's going to come on for Rotherham. Another Northern Ireland international. And Kelly. So double substitution.
It'll be on 79 minutes by the time the game gets played again.
Matt Taylor.
Hugel will come on, will he? Come off.
Mohammed Sunderland. Mohammed 2 says Sunderland 3.
No, Rathbone's coming off. I think from what I was told before the game, Rathbone's had a few injury issues.
Oh, and they've gone down as well. Oh yeah, let's bring the physios on. Oh, well, let's spend another 5 minutes doing this.
Time coming off here. Is wandering about in the middle of the pitch at the moment, Ollie Rathbone, because I think he's got the captain's armband. I think he's going to go back.
He's giving it to the goalie.
Give that to the goalkeeper. And he will now come off. Georgie Kelly, I'm assuming he will come on for Hugel. At the moment, it's Peltier who's getting treatment on the pitch. (2-1) then, Rotherham lead at the moment in the 78th minute, and still treatment being given to.
Assessed you 79 minutes, didn't I?
Who's now coming across here to the side of the pitch, and Georgie Kelly looks a bit confused down below us, the Irishman. Eventually wanders back towards the halfway line, and a Doffin's going to come on as well. So there'll be 3 changes being made by.
Will the referee add the 4 minutes on what they've took here?
Again, I think it's a lot of time wasting going on here. Peltier's coming off, and a Doffin's replacing him. So that's obvious injury that's caused that change. So Dauphin takes up a place
in the heart of defence.
Yeah, Humphreys, the former Spurs and Hamilton academical player, and Hugel's coming off.
Well, I hope for Sunderland's sake we score 2 goals and put them to fucking bed for doing this. I really do.
And Georgie Kelly is Hugel's replacement. And in the 80th minute now, we resume with Rotherham still leading, obviously 2-1. The ball played back to Patterson, closed down by Kelly. Patterson gets the ball away down the left over Elise, headed on by Clark, put back again by Coventry, put out for a throw to.
Look at him, he's walking to the fucking. Right. This is ridiculous. It's like the referee wants to fucking get a grip of it.
Curls it down the line. Elise heads it out again for another Rotherham throw, and again Harding forwards to take this. halfway
Hold the
inside
ball up in the corner on the fucking 80th minute.
Sunderland half. So.
Oh, a madman! That's fucking terrible!
Adding on to those changes, there's a fair amount of
He's
time
been shoddy tonight like Ahmad.
taken to make them. As Ahmad trying to get here through from a touch from Gelhardt. Gelhardt's made his run still, but it's cut out the pass through to him by Odofin. Up to Fosu, and he's trying to get through. Away he goes, he slips on the ball, but it falls for Lindsay. Ogbeni down the right. Ogbeni now. Sunderland suddenly on the back foot. Down to Lindsay again. He crosses to the far post. Headed away by Hume from Kelly. And Pritchard trying to get on the end of it, but it's steered back to Odofin by Coventry. Out to Harding on the right. And he's got round Clark. Forwards to Lindsay. To the right again to Ogbeni. Back inside to Lindsay.
He's gone for the swim in the River Weir, I think.
Cross, which has crashed off O'Nien for a corner to Rotherham.
And this is going to be a test.
Was it 4-4?
Sunderland this corner, Nick, because there's no bar on
5-2 Liverpool. Get in.
There's no circuit on the pitch. You know, there's Alessi. Luke O'Nien will have to pick up. Alessi will have to pick up. Ballard.
Connor Coventry's going to take the corner. Going to get the referee's going to book him.
And these are taking the fucking piss, these like.
Another 10, 12 minutes yet.
Yeah. So Coventry booked. Corner from the right away to our left. It's driven in towards the far post and headed behind. I think it might have come off Harding.
These are going to go down like a sack of shit now, Rotherham, aren't they? We just slightly touch these fuckers, they're going to go down and roll around all over the place.
Patterson looking for Ahmad. Coventry's got back and heads it out. It's a throw to Sunderland, halfway inside the Rotherham half. In from Clark to Gelhardt. Looking out for Roberts on this right-hand side. Roberts now, corner of the penalty area, into the penalty area, trying to dribble through, plays it in behind the 6-yard box. It came off Humphreys. It's come out to Hume, and Hume just down the line again to Roberts. Roberts
look up, man, before you cross the ball.
Trying to find an opening, he can't. Plays it back to Ballard, into the middle to O'Nien. O'Nien out now on the left-hand side to Clark. Clark looking for Elise.
Oh, it's 3 against 2, yeah.
It's put by a Dauphin down on the right of the 6-yard box. It's not cleared until Humphreys in the middle puts his foot through it. Out into the middle, Ballard can't get it, and they're away again, Rotherham. Away goes Connor Washington.
What is it with them shooting like from 20 yards out? That's beating us at the minute.
Right foot blocked off the post. Washington shot off the foot of the right post, and it remains 2-1. And Sunderland are going to make a double change themselves. Bennett and Barr, I think. Millwall 1, Burnley 1.
Millwall 1, Burnley 1. Millwall 1, Burnley 1. Yeah? What?
Gateshead 2, Oldham 1.
Hang on then.
Clark's coming off, Bennett's coming on.
We're going to lose this tonight, I think.
Barr replaces Pritchard. So that's it now, both teams.
I hate to say it, like, but fucking Ahmad, I think's practically nearly been the worst player on the pitch. Every pass he's done, it's just been fucking terrible.
Bennett and Barr find an equaliser. 85th minute. Rotherham lead 2-1. They nearly led 3-1 with that ball crashing off the foot of the post.
Why the fuck do I spoil my nights constantly watching these?
Sunderland again losing the ball in midfield. Harding with a long throw down the right. It's turned by O'Nien out to Barr here.
Can't see it coming. I can't see it coming, to be honest with you.
And then back behind him to Neal. Back again on the left to O'Nien. Lifts one up looking for Gelhardt. Headed away by Humphreys. Lindsay back then to Harding. Harding gets away.
Well, we kind of get the ball off them at the minute, and it's like when we get it, we give the ball away yet again, and it's like it should be us on the attack.
And he's played it behind.
They're playing some very
Lindsay.
clever football.
And now on the far side, Bennett is trying to get away with it, but Rotherham win it back. It's played down the line to Ogbenny. Ogbenny, Republic of Ireland international, trying to play it in, plays it off Elise for a throw on the far side. They'll be happy enough with that.
Yeah, there'll be no rush.
Fine.
No. 86th minute. Rotherham United 2, Sunderland 1. Live here on BBC.
Well, this is
Radio
perfect.
Newcastle.
It's all
Live
fucking
on
Rotherham
Saturday,
when we're
of course.
behind.
Coventry,
They'll get
12:30
opportunities,
kickoff.
Nick, that's for sure. They'll get another opportunity.
Yeah. It's in the corner at the moment. It's come back out to Harding, drives it into the penalty area, headed out.
Ah,
to
he's took it too
O'Neill.
far wide,
They kick
man.
them out here. Ahmad looking to get it over to Roberts. Roberts
Oh,
trying to
what a
go round.
touch.
Oh, hell
What
yeah.
a
He's
touch.
got past Elder.
What a
There's
touch.
Roberts still going. He's got Humphreys on the back foot. Cuts round and plays the ball into the penalty area to Bennett. Bennett onto his left. He's wide and
Oh,
it's cleared. It's
he was
ball
never
into the
set
6-yard
right.
box by Humphreys. And it's a throw to Sunderland on the far side. But what a run from Roberts.
What a touch by Roberts.
Just no way through, is there?
Cameron Humphreys named the Rotherham man of the match, and I'll say he's had a good game. Here again on the left wing, trying to get it in from the corner is Bennett, but it's won by Ogbenny. Put out for another throw to Sunderland, the 87th minute. Quickly taken by Barr, back to O'Neill. O'Neill out here to Roberts on the right-hand side. Roberts trying to come in on his left side now. Blocked by Fosu. Comes into the middle to Neil, who gets it back to Ballard. Down the right again to Hume. Hume
How the fuck are
leaves
these
it to
fourth off
Ahmad.
bottom? I just do not
curls
know,
it
like.
across. Humphreys heads it
I'm
clear.
just puzzled.
Ballard trying to get on the end of it. Hume blocks Coventry.
Terrible, the
knocks it to
fucking
Fosu.
ace against us at the minute.
Fosu trying to get away from Gelhardt, looking for the run of Washington. Cut out by Barr. And in the centre circle, he strides away, gets through the middle, is tripped by Kelly. Free kick to Sunderland, just in front of the centre circle. Quickly taken by Ahmad to Neil, out to Roberts on this right-hand side. 88th minute. Roberts curls the ball in, it comes off the back of Coventry, and then drops for Hjelde, back to Humphreys to clear. Out for a throw to Sunderland on the right-hand side here. Halfway inside the Rotherham United
What?
half, but Neil takes it from a lot further back.
Why?
Back to Ballard, down the line again to Neil. Short pass to Ahmad, into Roberts. Roberts trying to get forwards here to the edge of the penalty area, leaves it for Ahmad. Back behind Roberts, but Roberts is onto it. Curls the ball into the box. Oh, good save, Gelhardt's header.
Should have scored there, Gelhard, mind.
Gets down to his left and
He
saves
should have
it.
scored there, Gelhard. Like, he just head past it. It was like a back pass with his head.
Is that the opportunity?
That was the opportunity.
89th minute header from Gelhardt from 12 yards. Saved by Johansson.
Well, the damage was done in the fucking 2-0 down, wasn't it?
Still, Rotherham 2, Sunderland 1.
Hello, he's the physio's coming on again.
The other end, Rotherham, and they win it. Foul by Barr, I think. Right side of central midfield. And again, the calls for the physios. A little bit more time that's going to get added on.
There's
here.
got to be at least 6 minutes. 6 minutes added on, aren't there?
The player down is Lindsay, one of the Rotherham substitutes. This is lying flat out at the moment, right side of midfield. Everyone stops and waits.
I cannot see us getting fucking nothing against Coventry either.
Roberts together with Tony Mowbray down on the touchline. Gelhardt's strolling back. He's got off the mark tonight, but had one.
We give ourselves too much to do, man.
And one save just at the
Stupid fucking
death there a
losing
moment or
possession.
two ago. 2-1 Rotherham lead. Reaction, of course, tomorrow morning at breakfast with Matt Bailey, but Total Sport tomorrow night as well from 6 o'clock.
Yeah, they've got themselves to blame. The Sunderland have just got themselves to blame. It's as simple as that.
Added on here, Rotherham still, Lindsay still being treated on the far side, and now on his knees and looking at space 6 minutes.
So that's 6 minutes added on. So does that mean if he's still on the pitch getting his nose seen to and we're into the 93rd minute, does that mean there's going to be another 3 minutes added on top of the 6?
Maybe a little bit more than that though, because Lindsay's still being treated over on that far side. Frustration for Sunderland, who will just want to get on with this now and try and find that equaliser. But it's a slow and agonising wait to get the game going again here.
Well, that's exactly what Rotherham have wanted to do. We were starting to get on top of the game, and they must have time wasted at least 12 minutes of this match.
I think they'd be allowed another substitute, wouldn't they?
That's what they've done.
They've used all 5 of their substitutes. He's walked off Lindsay to the far side.
If it's concussion,
and I'm thinking if it is concussion, he should come off, and actually they will be allowed to bring on another substitute.
Pennywell pundit, same as Lee Johnson when Alex Neil took over, saying young players are burnt out. You can't rely on youth all the time.
Connor Coventry. Lindsay's still receiving treatment, and so we're going to get back underway. And I think they're trying to attract the attention either the referee or, yeah, they've let Lindsay back on.
Oh, fucking.
Gelhardt trying to get a little flick through,
gone the wrong way.
But it's Doffin's going to let it run back through to Johansson.
We should never have took the piss out of Alex Neil, should we? He's laughing at us now.
And Swansea 1, Stoke City 3. Pulling themselves a bit further away from the bottom 3, Alex Neil's team. Kelly goes up, comes back behind him though, and Fosu trying to get in through there and pushed forwards again by Lindsay and back to the goalkeeper from Ballard, and Patterson now will drive this out into touch.
Patterson's just kicked the ball out.
Kelly running in towards him, and a throw it is to Rotherham on this left-hand side. No hurry. Hjelde comes forward.
What do you think has caused the defeat then, Anthony? Do you think it's just lack of concentration? Because we gave the ball away twice for the goals, haven't we?
6 being added on. Hjelde's throw. Kelly heading it into the penalty area. O'Nien hooking it out to Elise.
There's no way we're getting anything out of this tonight.
And Elise forwards down the left for Bennett. Bennett will play it back to O'Nien. Closed down by Washington. Runs back to Patterson, who drives it up over the halfway line. Headed away by Doffin up to Lindsay. O'Nien has to get back in front of Washington and play it back to Patterson. Kelly goes to intercept, but it's played out to Ballard. Ballard up to the halfway line. Now to Dan Neil. Rotherham still leading 2-1. Barr.
Run into the box, man. Run in. Look for getting a fucking penalty out.
Right to Ahmad. To the edge of the centre circle. Now to Hume. Forwards here to Gelhardt. Gelhardt looks up, left-footed, playing it across to Bennett at the edge of the penalty area. Out on the touchline. Ogbeni trying to stick with him. Bennett taking him on. Tries to cross. Goes behind. Corner. Sunderland's 5th corner. But who wants to take it? Patterson's coming up. Roberts is sprinting across to the far side. Anthony Patterson coming up for this corner for Sunderland as we creep up to 94
anything to slow the game down.
So there's pushing and shoving here between Hjelde and Ballard. Ballard thrown to the floor. The referee coming across to tell them to calm things down, and that's the only action he's going to take. And then Ballard pushes Hjelde away.
God, it's so hard to play against the whole 11 men in it.
Roberts takes the corner. Hume nods it down. It looked like a handball by Harding. Oh, his shot from Gelhardt is blocked. Back in again by Barr, and it's gone behind for another corner.
How did that stay out?
I don't think Johansson knew much about it, but he blocked Barr's shot. It's another corner.
I really hope we get an equaliser because of the fucking teach.
Patterson. Did he get his head on the end of that? It bounces in the 6-yard box. An attempt by Sunderland by Hume to try an overhead kick, but it's come back out to Bennett on the right here of midfield. Ahmad puts it back in. Patterson's still up there. It's headed away by Kelly, and now Washington looking to try and break with Ogbeni. Neil tries to get it clear.
Kiernan!
Ballard out to the left-hand side here now. Neil looks.
Is it offside again?
Oh, Humphreys heads it up.
Oh.
Flag is up.
He can't do that. Linesman, he's done it to his own man.
The line roof of the net, but the flag was up.
We've got no fucking chance, have we? We've got no chance. We've got no chance.
Linesman, he can't flag. He's crashed into his own man.
How?
There were two. The keeper hauled up by Gelder.
That's not a foul, Nick. That is not a foul.
Do you mean their keeper came into our player there?
Look at the goalkeeper. It's not a foul.
So
we've got no chance, have we? We've got no chance when it's like this.
The referee blew. The ball was put in the roof of the net. Kelly goes down, challenged by Ballard. We're in the 7th minute here. Rotherham leading 2-1. Still arguments.
This is exactly the same fucking happened against Fulham. 2 goals have scored. They scored at the death, and once again it's been fucking cancelled out.
Not happy with what has just occurred, and now it's back with Hume.
I would like to fucking see that again. I really would.
Out here on the right to Amar, back into Hume. Hume trying to drive it up for one last attempt to find an equaliser. Gelhardt beaten to it by Coventry. Out the ball goes for a throw.
Get away and fucking shite. Fuck off.
Back to O'Nien.
Dirty, cheating, fucking bastards. That's all I can say.
Crashes into
cheating, fucking bastards. That's all I can say.
Rotherham winners, despite Sunderland at the end trying to throw everything at Rotherham. And did they have a perfectly good goal disallowed?
Well, I thought it was. You know, the goalkeeper's come for the ball, it's collided with his own man, his ball's fallen down, and the linesman's flag. What's he flagged for? A foul?
Well, I don't know. I don't know what he was flagging for, but his flagging alerted the referee to rule out the goal, and he did.
The linesman was fucking flagging before the ball even hit the back of the net. What was he flagging for?
The amusement of the Sunderland players. But I think ultimately when you go back and look at that first half, Sunderland never got to grips with it.
Never got to grips with it. And you've got to say, the only time we looked and we were a threat was when Roberts come on. All of a sudden we came to life. Ahmed came to life. We started to cause them problems. You know, there's going to be times, and we say it all the time, there's times and places where to play football. And sometimes, you know, they've done the homework, Rotherham. You know, they've got into the faces, they've made it ugly. You've got to say we didn't react, we didn't cope.
Never really came to terms with Rotherham's style of play.
Basically, social media saying his own player cleaned the keeper out. Never a foul. Fucking Rob. Once again, referees have fucking screwed Sunderland over. The sooner they bring VAR, the better. Mowbray's fault. He left it too late.
Who got their noses in front twice. 2-0 they led before Jockey Gelhardt managed to head one from close range and give Sunderland about half an hour or more to try and find an equaliser.
Cheers for tuning in on the stream, but I'm cutting it off now before I